Welcome everyone to the review stream part 2 for ZLTAC 2024. I am joined here by Wax and
Hello.
Firebird.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me again, gentlemen, to follow up on our previous stream. So, anything we have to cover, or are we good to get right into it?
Good start.
Let's do it.
Alright, awesome. So, we got teams 12 to 1 here, but let's just go through a refresher, see where everyone's at. Anything jumping out at you guys? I think there's some big movers in this group. No, cool. So, like, Surge would be the main one
Surge's
to me,
big
yeah,
jump,
right?
dragons. What happened? I didn't even realize the dragons jump. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was like 9 or something, 9 spots or something insane. On finals day. And before that,
I didn't think we were gonna have to worry about them on finals day, and they just kept coming up.
yeah, it was insane. Surge obviously like went from way down here and jumped right up into this top bracket. And then Rampage died and dropped into the last one. Eclipse had a massive fall, so did Outlaws. There's a lot of movement in this top half of the ladder. The like bottom half is like all straight lines, but this is wild.
The bottom just accepted it. They just rolled over that like 5.
And yeah, a few of them only had those one game as well, which might have affected it. But let's get into it. We have in 12th place, we have One Up. So they're going to be marked by that orangey line there. Pretty middling line, nothing too special about it. Looks like the first half of the game is definitely a lot stronger than their back half. They're sitting pretty high in that first half, and then yeah, they kind of level off around those 6 to 9 minutes. But yes, here's the roster. Take it away, gentlemen.
You want to start, bro?
I don't have too much on One Up. I couldn't remember playing them much. I don't remember them having like anywhere near as much maze presence this year as they did in Hobart. I felt like even games they didn't win in Hobart, it felt like
There was always people somewhere.
yeah, they were a lot more maze control in Hobart, whereas this year, and maybe that's a maze thing, but I expected that out of Hobart, out of One Up this year.
I don't know what you guys saw, but I just felt like I just saw 2-3 like more religiously than Wolfpack. Like it was it was like only 2-3, and that was we die on this hill. But maybe I'm not right, but it didn't look. I didn't think it looked that bad.
I'm not saying it was bad. I just feel like there was, less maze control.
Yeah, 100%. It definitely did.
I'm also
leaving as well was a bit rough.
Yeah, that's I had those notes. I was I think the loss of Celery also hurts the team a little bit. I think Celery rounded the team out a bit. So I mean that's a change from last year.
Yeah. I did see on your last stream that you're saying a lot of the last line thing as well, Runt. I like that. And like I know that Snake was doing a lot of last lining, and the TR's not like great. Like he's 86 for a last line, but maybe he was. I know Guinea was under as well, so I'm not 100% sure.
It's always been a weak point for One Up, right? Like they don't really have anyone that is like, this is my role. I love.
No
this
one
role.
jumps out at you as a One Up, as the last line.
It's like Snake kind of does it because nobody else does, kind of thing. Whereas, yeah. What was I gonna say? We predicted these guys 12th, did we?
I know I didn't, but I think you guys all did.
I don't remember even what.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I guess that was fresh off the back of a pre-announce where they had a rough time, wasn't it? But yeah, that's wild that we predicted them 12th and they came 12th to me. Yeah.
We're good at this.
Weren't they higher up at the start of the week as well? So I think like losing was like once again. What was that, Bendigo, when they lost for this?
Oh, the worst.
Like I think it's like an actual problem.
I love us saying this like he didn't just have a kid. Like, how dare he?
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
But
so they started round robin in 11th, dropped. They climbed like 2, and then they dropped down to 12th, where they pretty much stayed. So not too much movement, but a little bit could be attributed to for sure. Yeah. Any like clear room for improvement? I mean, we hit on the last line thing, but
maybe find a site to play at home.
It's so brutal. It's actually so brutal. But yeah, really funny thing. When the distance tracking stuff came out, they were all flaming Gunner because he apparently moved less than Giddy and stuff. Like, so it sounds
Well,
like
Guinea's
Gunner would.
last mining.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus
So sounds like Gunner would
Christ,
just
Marie.
rock up to a base and then you kind of just vibe there for a while, which kind of tracks. I think that is kind of how Gunner was playing the arena from what I saw. Um, so we might need
I
to
think
get.
that's what I saw as well. There are definitely a couple reffing games where like it just felt like they were brick walled at a base, and they would just kind
Getting
of
bogged down and not
yeah,
doing
and they would never reset or do anything to like change it up. They just sit there.
I'll just roll the dice over and over. Yeah, so I don't know. If we see a more active gunner back, I'm keen to see how the team goes because I think
Actually,
he's a,
looking at those stats, I wonder like what was Crouchy doing that he's getting 200 plus more tags than everyone else?
oh
Like he's
god.
just so much he's in the thick of it compared to everyone else.
From what I remember, he was doing a lot more of the moving, and he was always fighting someone, no matter what.
Yeah,
So
I
like he
mean,
was moving and fighting more people.
what 1220 tags to 977 tags?
Yeah, because you'd expect
That's a
them to be
decent
playing
difference.
the meta where you kind of just had two people just like farming for the first bulk of the game. So or- were they holding four back? Like it is, you're 100% right. It is surprising that Gunner's tags are so much lower than Crouchy's, even the deaths for.
Hmm.
Yeah. Does anyone have in the chat have any insight into this? What was Gunner? Where was Crouch that Gunner wasn't?
I don't think I remember seeing them doing any like 4-1s or anything. I think it was like definitely like
Maybe is it a case of Gunner standing too far back from like maybe you need to walk a bit further forwards, or maybe you're standing in the wrong spots to be, actively moving the game forward in those first few minutes.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. I don't know. I'm keen to. I'm hoping they bring more hustle at Worlds though. I feel like it shot a light onto Gutters just like vibing out at a base kind of thing, whereas Crouchy was like really hustling and is clearly getting the deaths and the tags for it.
Hmm.
But yeah, let's move on to MVP then, shall we? Who have we got, guys?
yeah, for having a baby, surely. Not even lace tag related.
That's a good cook. I respect it. Firebird, who have you got?
I'll say Crouchy for getting in the thick of it as much as he has.
Yeah, see, I was kind of feel. I'm right there with you on
I
Crouch.
don't remember seeing enough from the team to pick someone on like something I saw, so I had to go off
Mm,
stats.
yeah. Yeah. For me, like in the maze, Crouchy was always very much a presence. He was hustling around, trying to duel everyone pretty much. That sort of oppressive gameplay he has, where he's like really tracking down a fight and playing it out. Yeah, that was one up. Again, like we keep on hoping to see more out of them. I'm especially hoping so on Worlds because they should be stronger on Worlds. That is kind of a format that suits them
Like,
a bit more. But
like their thing, their jam.
yeah, exactly. They obviously don't have a site though, so we can't hope for too much maybe. But I don't know, with the supplementation of Spider and those settings, and hopefully, like Guinea's played the maze as well, so like hopefully they know the sort of gameplay they want to play there. So big fingers crossed for Worlds. But let's move on to Team 11. We had Surge, the big jumpers here, and they are marked by a very low scoreline in comparison to these top teams. They are the dotted grey line there, which
Ooh,
they have a good fourth minute, and then it just plateaus heavily.
Hey, that's crazy.
that's right. I mean, I suppose it's a little bit who they're compared to in this bracket as well, right?
Yeah, that is true.
Like if you put them in comparison to the bottom end teams, they might look hell of a lot better.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's also that playstyle as well. They, from memory, they're playing a lot slower and stuff, and trying to like control the game and playing a lot. It felt like they're playing a lot of 1-4 with like someone doing runs, more attacking than defending.
Well, let's check their base average. So it actually looks pretty high, right? 4 of your players having at least a base a game. That's
Yeah, but they were also playing like a lot lower. They jumped 8, like they jumped so high, so they're versing a lot worse teams.
oh for
So
sure. Yeah. Like I think tag ratio is probably going to explain a bit. Yeah. Tag ratio definitely explains most of it because like, again, base stats are pretty high, but in comparison to these top teams who, especially throughout round robin and getting those really high TRs, you see a lot of them are sitting a lot lower. So their pack game is a hell of a lot weaker than these top teams, which is kind of what you'd expect.
yeah. I know From memory, there was a bit of Brodizzle attacking, and I think it was Red Devil.
It looks like Red Devil based off the stats there.
Was Snake sick? Why did he only play 14
Yeah.
games?
Snake was dead.
Yeah.
Well, is that why they were playing with 4?
Oh, they had 4 at
because
one
they were
point.
like
Yeah.
one of the teams playing with 4 for like days at a time.
That's right. So Red Devil did. I remember somehow this came up last week where Red Devil did some wacky stuff where he'd end up last lining and swapping like someone out to go attack. What's the story, chat?
I feel like he was last line, but he also was not always there.
Brodizzle very, very sick. Apparently.
I think it's a bit rough to look
I
at
mean,
like
makes
attack
sense.
ratio and like Serenity after coming back after a little bit of time off. Like maybe he just wasn't really feeling it too much. Couldn't get back into the flow of things. He's getting minced a little bit. Not too bad. Like
Is
he's keeping it
Serenity
above 70%.
First or second time on H2 though?
Yeah, I know he was at a
Yeah.
pre-nuts.
Yeah,
But still
which would
pretty
be
fresh
like
to it. The hairstyle did ruin his immune system. That's a good call. That barber cooked him up good.
Stress. 70 goals is crazy. Holy.
So yeah, did we see Gazer out first doing like a 4-1 kind of structure? Like that's kind of what you'd
I saw
expect.
that in the game we played against them, but that felt like a really weird game as well. It's hard to. I don't think it should be indicative of how they would have played all comp, or at least I hope not. But it was Gazer out first, 4 home. Like we sort of rolled through the game, and then we had against Cyrex needed 1 base, and she's standing at their base, and they've got 4 people on her, and it just didn't make any sense in my brain why you're fighting so hard to keep the team that's 1 out. Like you can chase second or like play for second.
Brock,
Yeah.
when they don't just give him a free win, how dare they?
I mean,
I know.
we won
Yeah.
2 minutes in, and then at that point it's like, okay, like I shouldn't be your focus anymore, realistically.
They're not losers, Brock. They're winners.
We clutch it back. But yes, did we see enough of this team to know any points of improvement, anything like that?
I spoke to them at Nationals about points of improvement, so they know what I think because I refed a couple of their games. But like, it just seemed like a lot of not much trust, and like the plan was always there, but then they would kind of.
Do we know how long this team had been a team before Nats?
I don't. Some of them had played a couple times. Like, I know Brodizzle and Red Devil have played a bunch together with maybe Snake a little bit. I think Serenity and Weeb haven't been playing on this team for too long. Not 100% sure. I think there's like some synergy, but it just, from what I could see reffing, it was like 0 trust, like at all. Like it was no good, and like it would just like lose them bases, lose them, just like small things, and it just added up from what I could see. And they seemed to have a plan, which was good, but it just like, I don't know. It worked sometimes it wasn't great. But obviously it worked here when they got to abuse the 4 players.
Well,
I think they had 4 on the last day, didn't they? But they had enough to climb.
No, that was
good
Sharks.
last day, right?
They had a good last day, and they were playing with 5. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Granted, Brodizzle sounds like he was still dead on the last day, but they played with a 5.
Body makes a difference.
5 on finals, yeah, and Snake was also dead. So yeah, it was wild to see this team climb so highly, especially above like they did beat some teams of 4, but they also beat some like teams of 5 that should like were generally higher throughout the whole comp. So do you guys like again, chat? Do you guys know what you switched on that last day, or was everyone else around you just dead? Like was it like a Steven
4-man
Bradford?
lock? That's what it was.
Because they did the
Locking.
meme blue lock.
Yeah, they did that the day before though. I think. I think
No, but that made them the meme team so they could climb. That's what it was.
Little bit.
Everyone thought they were funny, and then they were like, haha, it's the funny team. Now we win, and then they lose.
We did in finals too. That's awesome.
I still wish I was reffing or something. That would have been so goated. The Vikings did it too. when you guys dumped in a game or something.
I don't know
remember
if we got
seeing it.
4. I know
No,
we
there
got like
was.
3.
I
We got
remember at
4?
one
It was
point-
like
That's
it's like for
awesome.
1 second as you're taking the base, and then
No,
someone
I feel
leaves.
like that was because I think that we were in that game because I remember seeing at least three of you in blue, and I was like, this ain't worth it. We're going as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I don't remember if we were playing that game, but I remember seeing the photo.
maybe it might not be what you were thinking of, but yeah, I remember Vikings getting close to it.
Mhm. Yeah. Now we got some good insight from Serenity in the chat. Sounds like they went back to a more basic style. They took your advice mid-comp wax. They weren't doing anything too fancy where they were relying on all this trust and crazy mechanisms, which sounds like they were trying to do early on. Just went back to a 2-3 and just started abusing the teams by being better than them, which is the wax classic advice. It got them four wins or something, so I respect the advice, and it climbed them 8 spots. Good on them. So
Yeah.
let's go MVPs, shall we? Who have we got?
Red Devil for that clip. That clip is crazy. He just goes absolutely mental.
Stole it. Yeah.
Unlucky run.
What do we got? 5 Ed.
I'll give it to Commander Snake for playing despite being sick on the last day.
But with it stolen, I still do need a shout out Gazza. He put in a very good performance. You can't not recognize game like that. So good on him. Yeah, let's jump on to the next team. So in 10th we had Riptide, equaling predictions. And their worm has a very, very slow first 7 minutes, which really tracks with how the games against them looked like. And then they actually pick up the points really well in that back half. So it's a pretty cool worm to see, honestly. I think that's an especially good worm for this maze. But yeah, let's go for it.
Disappointing, but
This is a team that could have moved the most out of like the top 12. Like, they could have been like much higher up or lower down, and I would have been like, not surprised, maybe like impressed or mad at them, but like,
I'd be
yeah,
amazed if they could drop below 10 with this pack skill, though, right?
surely.
I don't think they could. Like, they shouldn't be able to. I don't even think they should be 10th.
Yeah.
Fucking hurts to look at and say.
I mean, they were sitting really well like earlier in the comp, right? Because they got up pretty high, didn't they?
Well,
they were like
they had a really good Cascade 1, I think, and then Cascade 2 they just got brutalized.
It's round
actually
robin for sure.
Oh, round robin, sorry.
Yeah, they're
Yeah. Their Cascade 1 was actually tragic. They dropped like 6 spots in Cas 1.
Yeah.
Oh, I've jumped the gun. So yeah, and well, I was talking to Wax about this before the stream started. Were they sick and injured in Cas 1, or did that kick in Cas 2 onwards?
What was at the end? I'm not 100% sure about the start.
It was more at the end than anything. I don't remember any of them being like, other than Bread.
Yeah, was Bread dying as well? Like 11 games
I think
played.
they put him in a coma and he was out for like 2 or 3 days, right? And then he came back.
Okay, that makes sense with this because I saw the 11 games played and I was like, Jesus Christ! But
yeah, he like they put him at home. Like he went home and went to sleep and stayed asleep for a while. I think he got hit by it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Man, apologies everyone when this review stream is just like guess who's sick and dying. That was the story of Aubrey though.
The last stream was crazy. I was checking in actively at work and it'd just be like, oh, this sick, this write it off, and I'm like, what the? Is everyone just dead? Everyone just died.
But they were down Bread. Doesn't seem like anyone else maybe from what we know. So yeah, again, wild to see them drop so much in Cascade 1. Do we know why that was?
I think they just, I don't know. They just got brutalized by the teams at the top of the ladder a little bit, and this is a team that should be able to hang with the teams at the top of the ladder as well.
Yeah, I mean they were solid when we played them in round robin. Like their lockdown game is good. Like they can stop their base from dropping well and stay in the pack points. So how were they getting brutalized by those top teams?
What did I say? I remember seeing like a lack of confidence in like where they should be playing earlier in the comp. It might have been I think it was Cascade 1 actually. Because we played them with I can't remember who it was. We played them with another team, and they walked in and were like, "Well, we can't win this, so we're going to try this weird dump strategy that like is awkward." And so they're like, might have been Eclipse. Yeah, they like threw it to. It was just really bad. I like because I was playing it. Like, you guys could have taken this from us. Like, you take games off us in training. Like, you can absolutely win this game. And they played like, I don't know, like a bottom end team. And I was mad about it.
I remember like abusing Pog for it because
I said something to Volley, and he was like, "We weren't winning it." I was like, "You could have done it."
It made me so mad. I remember just being heated about it. I don't know. Looking at these stats, like the TRs are pretty decent. Like the only
Yeah, I mean, to have the
TR is
whole
Volley.
team pretty much like above 1, that's really good. That's what it's like the goal.
I know they had Volley running games for some of the, like, they sort of split it 50-50 between Volley and Pug.
Yeah, it was just at the end when Pug was sick, but I'm not sure.
No,
if it was like...
Volley was doing some earlier when Pug wanted to just like go sicko mode and shoot people.
Okay, I don't love that, but I guess if it worked, then
I mean, Pug's. There's the argument, right? Do you let Pug captain and like potentially weigh his brain down and not let him shoot people, or do you let him like keep him out there, keep him captaining, and like you unleash him a little bit?
I think the thing is though, like I think you can, especially with how I think these guys want to play. Like they want to not get more than 4 bases. They want to play slower. They don't want to like blow the game out. They want to be like controlled and stuff. So like I think it's fine. Like I don't know. Like the base averages are pretty decent, but like it's I'm not 100% sure. Like I just think they should play slower. Like Pug can get his 2 or 1 or whatever, and then maybe someone pushes a base and they just want to kind of play more of a lockdown game. I think they can win that more often than not.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's not the only thing they can do.
Yeah, again, from the looks of the Worm, they were playing a lockdown game for the first 7 minutes, and it looks like the game was maybe slipping away from them. Like other teams would exchange bases, that sort of thing, because like they were locking down their base really well. But if I had to guess, they obviously can't lock down the other base. And
that's what's literally what was happening.
Exchanging. Yeah. And that's a tough issue. It's like trying to if you're playing a lockdown game, you got to try and lock down the entire maze, which is tough to do. Or open up with the game. So maybe they're on the fence of trying to do both, but I'm not really sure. Again, the game they versed us, they were very, very strong. So I'm very surprised to see them drop it, especially in that Cascade one. And we're focusing on Cascade 1 because after that they were dead and all that stuff. But that is why we're harping on about it so much. But yeah, anything else for improvement? Anything else that they did really well? Do we want to shout out?
I would really like to see. I say this every freaking stream. I just need someone else like to really step up on attack. Like it just even like I'm gonna yap a little bit, Volley, but like even Volley, like he was fine, but like it doesn't like Pug needs like his partner that he can like rely on, like to like
his dynamic duo.
Yeah, and I just don't think this team has that. Like and like I want to see like Carton step up and like do more on attack.
I was impressed with Carton this year, actually. I think I saw a Carton that I knew was in there all along.
Yeah, but just slightly for me, slightly more on attack. Like I think on defense, 100% all the time. But I'm just questioning attack stuff. But like his base stats 120, so it's it's pretty decent. Oh no, wait, no, that's his tag ratio. Yeah, his base stats low. Like I don't love that from Carton. I feel like he should be one of the ones that's getting those bases, but maybe I'll miss. I guess Jam will just run off.
So Carton had the highest TR on the team. Who was their anchor?
Asman.
Okay.
Or Volley sometimes.
And it was never Carton.
Right?
It was never Carton.
Interesting.
Carton would be on a door a bit. Like Carton and Big Red with it, like they're sort of door players a bit more.
Carton's very solid on a door. He gets to like just play defense.
I do remember, like the green structure. They were definitely starving players. Like they'd have almost 5 home, which left like some of their door defenders completely out of it. And I don't know if it was like just an example of Bread being dead, so he didn't want to move, but like they left Bread sitting on the L
I
the
mean,
entire game, kind of thing.
I think Bread in his element, like Bread in his comfort zone, is like outside on a door where he can just brawl with people and not push too hard. Like that's where Bread wants to sit a lot of the time, I think.
But to see him like not playing the game, like they had 2 people pretty much not playing the game against us.
Yeah, that's
kind of
fair.
thing, which was I think you need more in the action to really win the pack game. They were keeping up well because they were green, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's an example of maybe you can get a bit more use out of your players, but if they're sick, it's hard. So let's jump on to MVP, shall we? Who have we got?
2 seconds.
Go for it, Wax.
I'll give mine to Jam because he just got kicked off the team. So
Good on
Jam's
you,
my
Jam.
MVP. My goat.
I gotta say Pug. He's
Yeah.
a monster.
For sure. I'm actually going to shout out Carden. Like that tag ratio on the door to have the highest on the door is pretty insane. And he wasn't always taking the easy door either. I'd see him like front door of green, which a lot of people really struggled with. So honestly, yeah, I mirror your statement. And Carden was actually playing very well this comp, I thought. Cool.
That's the shit thing is I know it's there. I just want to see it on attack. Like I was talking to him about it at dinner after training one time. And I was like, stop defending when you attack a base. You're attacking the base, not defending the base.
I think like playing Carton at Sunny Coast shows me what Carton is capable of in a like a maze he knows and he's comfortable with. And like Carton at Sunny Coast is a different beast than what Carton turned up at Albury, but like the Carton we got at Albury was still really, really good.
Well, I mean, we're about to see this new team with an extra player on it, right?
We don't.
Yeah,
we don't know. Nothing's happened yet.
Nothing's
I
happened.
don't know who the 6 is.
Queensland's a bit wild right now.
Slow moving.
Okay, they've just booted Jam with no replacement. That is remorseless. You love to see it. And let's jump on to the next team. We had Outlaws up 5 from predictions, and let's find their worm. It is gonna start off insanely well and then ride a bit towards the bottom, especially in that 9th minute. What are our
All
thoughts
I'm
on that?
saying is I was right. They did well. They did better than we predicted.
They did better than I expected. They did better than I
expected. Yeah.
Especially like Pack King and Camster, I think like absolutely bloody turned up for this comp. Not that
Was
the others
Vexen
didn't,
sick,
but,
or
like,
was he just not there the whole time?
Vexen?
Yeah.
Vexen's like half the games played.
Yeah, I think Vexen was sick as well. Did he have to go to DJ more? Was that a thing?
I think he had to DJ a little bit, but I'm not 100% sure.
Oh man. Was Brownie dead as well? Sorry, it's like
let's just think. Everyone, if you thought someone was dead, they were dead at some point. They just died.
I don't
It's
remember
like a
any
starting
of these guys
checklist.
fighting for their life though. I hit it back here because Linda was going for
I don't even remember seeing Outlaws much. Like I feel like
I
we
saw him a couple
perfectly
of times.
avoided them. Like
I mean,
I remember,
Yeah.
well, I remember watching them from reffing a couple of times as well. Like, again, I saw Packing get some like really nice breaks. I saw Camster, like all of them got some really nice cracks into bases. They I think like one thing they get stuck on, and I think they've gotten stuck on it forever, is like they get bogged down. They let themselves just like stop watching what's changing and what the other teams are doing, and just like, well, we're getting this base, and we're gonna force you in through this base. Doesn't matter how long it takes.
It's a good point. Broderick did say, and I love him for it. He's like, my favorite thing in laser tag is just to attack one base, is just to throw my head at a door for just the entire game, and I will be happy.
I love playing AVD.
Literally, and it does reflect in their gameplay a little bit, because Brad will get that base. Brad is going for that base. But no,
I saw that reffing as well. I was like, bro, you probably shouldn't be doing this anymore. You're meant to be leading a team.
So good, I love it. And he knows he's doing it too. But he just the man just loves the game that much. But like, yeah, when it worked, like he was cracking through backdoor of green like so much as well and taking it from that sneak spot. Really abusing that. And I think Cam was doing similar. So they were getting a lot of bases that way, which was a very good gimmick for them. And clearly paid off pretty well to get them this high, because previous comps they were sitting a lot lower. Did we see their structure much? Was it a kind of 3-2 where they Were they
I
getting
think
their
it was
players out
like
to pack point?
a 3-2 or 2-3, pretty much is what I saw.
I feel like I can't even remember seeing them.
Yeah.
It's
Out.
like
I actually can't remember seeing. I'm trying to like think, and I've got
like
nothing.
Broderick and Camster, or Broderick and Sirical out first, Broderick and Victus out at first, and like early, and then like slowly just rotating through the back end.
Remember their blue game being okay. I remember reffing a blue game, and their structure on blue was actually pretty decent. And Vexen was very like active on like pushing people out and like swinging out a door and like holding space well.
Actually, I remember. You just reminded me. I remember talking to Peregrine. Peregrine had a conversation with Vex, and he's like, "I've got this secret way to defend blue. It's really, really good." And like a couple of days later or something, he's told Peregrine, he's like, "I just keep moving." And he's like, "That's your secret?" Okay, we've all been doing that.
Like in the base or like on
In
the
base,
doors?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that is
Just,
good.
like changing your spots in the base.
Yeah. Wait, so yeah, they were playing a decent amount of 3-2. I think they were trying to open the game with that pack pointy start, and I think Cam was doing it a bit. But I think they really love trying to solo their bases as well. So like they
I
meant to
do
just
remember that.
they'd meant to just be pack pointing, but they'd really love trying a lot of sends, which sometimes paid off, sometimes not at all. When sometimes maybe they could just get away with pack pointing, but this team loves their bases. They really do.
I think in my opinion, this is still like one of the better versions of Outlaws we've seen in recent years. Like this seems less at each other's throat, a little bit more like they didn't just sit four at their base and die as much this comp, which is, I know, something they've been guilty of a lot in the past. So like I think this is a team that's taken some advice and had some thoughts and tried to improve, and like next year's probably going to be the telling year, because then they're out of home.
Yeah, I was about to say we are
like,
talking about the home side team though right now, so it's kind of
but this like that's even considering
but
some of their behavior and like how they're managing themselves as a team. That doesn't matter what site you're at, right?
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because where did they finish last year?
11th? No, that was Rampage. It will.
just coffin strays.
I didn't mean to do that. That's not it. 13th or something. It wasn't great. Like I remember it being like, like it looked okay, but then like towards the end I think it dropped off because of like the problems and stuff.
Yeah, so we're decently up. Strafe was in there. But yeah, Brownie having a bit of a rough comp. I mean, yeah, where was he playing? Was he ending up on a door? What's the story for him?
He was on door a lot, and I think he was on the tight door, not the push door. So
yeah, interesting. I mean, he kept his TR up. I guess he just got stopped. Yeah, it's actually that simple, isn't it? Like the team, all very good pack and pack players. Like we're saying, those TRs all above 1. So their pack points were pretty decent then as well. But yeah, maybe starved a bit much if like Brownie's riding that low. I guess he was probably anchoring sometimes.
I think Brownie was there. Like he's generally their last line.
Oh, that true, because Vexen wasn't playing as many games, so that would make sense.
That's a good point. But yeah, like it is a team that doesn't get to play many team games. So like I think the weak point for them probably is strategy, unfortunately. As much as I do love their strategy, is that what you guys are kind of thinking? Because versing them, their structures all felt good, right? Or
yeah, I think so. I think like it felt like they actually knew who they were this comp, which was nice to see. Like they just kind of like they weren't trying to do too much. They were just doing what they wanted to. They were doing it okay at times. Like I remember them pulling some crazy games off people, but then losing to like some stupid teams as well.
I think that was a big one. Losing to stupid teams was really rough because, like, again, all statistically very good players and all have proven themselves to be very good players, like especially in dueling and stuff and base cracks. But yeah, then they would lose to these random teams, and that was always wild to see. Do we know any? I mean, yeah, is it just too heavy attacking?
I think they let themselves lose focus of what's happening around them. Like they're like what I was saying earlier, like getting bogged down at a base. I think that happens sometimes. Like I think it's, they used to do it where they'd stick 4 in defense and they'd lose the game because they do that for ages and ages and ages. And now it's I think they've fixed that and then they've gotten better at it, but it's morphed into a like, we're getting this base, so we're going to stand here and we're going to go there and we're going to get that base. And then like maybe the other two teams have like, once someone's dumped and they're like, the other team are piling through and there's like chaos going on over here and the game is being played over here and they're like, we're going through this base right now, and just miss like a change in pace or strategy or momentum.
Yeah, I think that's right. Like they just never feel like they really get
awareness.
Yeah, their awareness is like 0. Like they just don't understand who's winning, if they're doing well. Like I definitely remember having some moments where I saw that.
Interesting. I think a good way to summarize the team then might be, I think they took a huge step forwards in their strategy and playing as a team and all that, and that's how they got this result. And it's just going to take a bit more experience and like really analyzing their game to jump to that next level, which they can definitely reach. Again, their players are all so good, and a lot of them are better on packing, especially is like better on pro. So like, keen to see them in Aubrey. But yeah, shall we jump on to MVPs, guys?
I don't want to steal yours if you're going to say it, so I won't go first.
No, you go first. You have to now.
No, I don't know. I was just going to say
we can double up.
We can double up.
Hamster for like solos
as well. Same thing.
Like second in solos,
huge.
Like it's actual W, man cooked. Yeah. And like in team games, he was doing well as well. Like tag ratio is like under 1, which is not great, but it's like fine.
It's wild that his tag ratio is under 1 because I think he was like one of the better pack on pack players. So I don't know what happened there because I thought he was like one of their stronger pack players, but
he was definitely fighting in the like war area where he's just like
he's just getting like
to the other side of the maze,
brutalized a bit, like
and from that position he'd do the thing where he really wants that base as well. So like bit of column A for column B. Yeah, Chemist was amazing for sure.
Wins a tag, like wins a brawl outright, and then just throws himself at an impossible crack.
Yeah, it's the classic. It's like, well, I gotta take my chances now, don't I? It's
I gotta try.
They do have a gun sensor, but sometimes it's not worth it. Okay, so you guys are both going Cam. I'm actually gonna shout out Invictus because I've come off as a lot of an Invictus hater over these streams, and I kind of backed that his performance at the pre-nats was a bit rough, but genuinely he stepped up his game so much at the ZLTAC. Like we saw him in training, I'm like, oh shit. He's cooking. He's cooking so hard.
He's mad. He's mad.
Genuinely, he got into round robin. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take credit, but like, he was a beast.
Didn't he? Wasn't he like one of the best like draft picks? Like
I said he was going to be. I remember we had Queensland dinner. We were all talking about the base stump stuff. And I was like, "You're sleeping on Invictus." He's like, and then I got talked out of. I had him on my team for like a week leading up to it, and then at that dinner I let everyone talk me out of it and I took him off my team.
And again, I did a similar thing because I saw him in training. I'm like, he is cooking like crazy. I'm gonna swap my team up, and I'm like, oh, but every pre-nats, I can't justify it, but I should have justified it because he went insane. Like genuinely, first game of round robin and like first 2 games of round robin, he put like 11 and 13k, something crazy, and I'm like, oh no. I should have seen it. I should have seen it. I saw the writing and I didn't like read it, but
the signs were right. I mean, I did nothing with that information.
And I think he plateaued a bit in the Cascade games and stuff, and he cooked a bit less, but genuinely still very, very exceptional player this comp. I thought he played very well and locked in very hard. So yeah, let's go on to the next team, shall we? We had Eclipse down 3, and let's find their worm. Where are we? So purple. They're the high scorers, aren't they? So yeah, I'm in an aggressive game. There was a lot of dumping, and especially, I mean, it tracks with the dumping. 5 minutes in, 4 minutes in, like the score just starts skyrocketing after a plateau, a middling start, not a plateau. But yeah, Take us away, guys.
This felt like identity crisis the team to me. I think we saw like I mean like I think we were a little bit identity crisis as well, but we'll get to that. I think there was like we had Potato last landing, we had Noodle last landing, we had Dark Passion last landing at points. Like I feel like we had Taipan captaining, we had Passion captaining. It felt like I was like every time they draw straws for like who got to play which position, and then Orkray would always just stand on a door. Like the rest was like a grab bag, and you don't know who's going to be where or why. And I think
It's like, can I play, guys? They're like, shut the fuck up.
I think they found their groove and they got going, but I think it hurt them a little bit, like getting there, and ideally you'd have that ironed out ahead of time. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but that's just how I felt about it.
No, I 100% feel that, because like it definitely did feel like they're like, it felt like they were doing these ones, like they just didn't. They would win a game that was too like they beat Vikings, but then they'd lose to a stupid team, and then they'd win another game
immediately after. Like Outlaws take a game off them, and everyone's like, "What?"
Yeah, like it's just there's just I don't know, something crazy was going on.
Potato was good in last line, but I feel like that's a waste of Potato. I feel like
literally,
there's
he's
no
world
more valuable somewhere like elsewhere in the arena, even if he's a good last line.
Maybe in green. Maybe they can be like, all right, sure, King, go crazy, and then like
I know
that's fine.
I had breakfast with DP after the comp like a week or two later, and he was last line in green because he was like, no, you guys are better out there. I'll do it. So he would last line green.
I don't understand.
Wait, DP would last line.
DP last lined a few of their green games because but that's where I was like, this just feels like yo. Oh. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. It just felt like, and the thing is like their anger and like their aggression wasn't as bad. I didn't see it as much.
I saw one blow up, but otherwise they were much better handled. And I think Dark Passion is like not solely like responsible for that, but I think he was instrumental in helping this team like cool their heads a bit.
I think that you're right, but the problem is like it felt like they were more lost. Like they didn't have the like.
I don't know if that's the anger part of it. I feel like those are two separate issues, and you're making them one.
No, but I don't know. But it just felt like if
no
the straws thing is true, what is happening is like Taipan like, oh no, I'm captaining red, and then DP is like, I think I'm better captaining blue. Like it's like, what is happening? Like,
wait, isn't that what Dodge did?
No.
Okay, we'll get to that later. We'll get to that later.
We'll get to that later. We'll do that gap later.
I mean,
the other thing, just because I've thrown some shade, I think like the Taipan DP like opening duo was incredible. I think that's a great opening duo.
So they would open by attacking with those two, would they?
I mean,
no, the straws. The straws.
I was gonna say, I believe you, but I didn't see it.
I think as an opening duo, I think that's a great opening duo. Like it leads into like options with Potato Noodle. Like
yeah,
I think Mopar is like fills space on this team.
Was Mopar sick, or was he just getting sad a lot?
He dislocated his shoulder the day before the comp. He was in a sling for like their training.
Everyone's just got like reasons.
Put his arm back in a sling.
The thing is, Mopar never used it. Mopar never complained once. He just binned Catalyst players, no question.
No, he didn't complain. I did hear him talk a couple of times of like, I can't. He's like, oh, I can't do that, and now I can't get my arm back to move.
Jesus Christ!
It was wild.
What a man.
I had so much time for Mopar.
But yeah, like, was their most successful strategy dumping? Because that was the one that had success against us, so they pulled it again, and I saw them pull it quite a few times again. Was that what they kept doing for finals? Or...
I don't know if it was for finals, but I definitely saw them win some good games with it. So maybe it was just like it got rid of all the problems that they were having of like positions, and we're like, no one's doing anything. We're all doing the same thing. Yeah, literally.
Because Noodle was captaining those dumps Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Action.
Yeah,
It's
'cause
like,
he
what
was
the fuck is happening?
egotistical as anything about it as well.
Captaining worlds,
yeah.
from what I've been told, which seems cap, but
I mean, again, devil's advocate. It was their most successful strategy, which is why they kept
Okay.
doing it.
Well, there's that
Um,
argument of like maybe like that allows like Taipan and Dark Passion to think less and shoot more in a game, and like gets them to unleash a bit more.
I mean, they all just brawled on a door and then won their brawls and then walked in the base with 5 people because it's a good team to do it. Like, they're all very good brawlers and they're all very capable of getting in the base. So the dumping worked well up until a point, it seemed. Um, I think once teams got wise to it and were like, okay, they're going to dump at 3 minutes, let's lock them down. They got a bit chewed out. But apart from that, worked a lot. Props, I guess.
the thing is as well, like I guess we haven't really spoken about it. Like their denies against is pretty decent. Like except for DP, like they're all very low. Like they're not losing shots.
I was actually just looking at Orkrise's denies 4. Like that's not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good as well. Like the stats here are so like decent. Like everything's so clean. They seem to need to work out the problems, but I guess I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, things Queensland. But
I mean, you leaked the other thing.
oh, I don't think that's leaked.
I think everything's leaked already.
Yeah,
everyone
probably.
knows.
But should be interesting to see what form of eclipse is next year or whatever happens.
Okay, well, keen to see it. Let's jump onto MVPs. Who have we got, Wax?
Ooh.
Oh, sorry, real quick. I agree. Someone said in the comments earlier, where were the Queenie stats? Queenie told everyone she was going to be playing. I feel like I've been lied to. Queenie, explain yourself.
Yeah, that's true. The hell?
But while she's typing that out, Wax, who's your MVP?
Surely don't let me go first. Let me think.
Fine. Firebird, go for it.
I want to say Dark Passion for like both are like a decent performance and like a decent mats, and as well as also didn't blow his ankle out this year, which is a nice touch. But also for like how he's helped the team's mental outside of the game.
Queenie's got back to us. Never said it apparently. I feel like a few people heard it, but no pointing in the corner. We were just wondering what was going on.
I said with Runt.
I remember you saying you were playing, motherfucker. So don't
was
act like she was.
I'm not sure if it was in chat log so we can prove it, but I think we have a lot of witnesses saying it. Okay.
She beat me in
team
war.
games.
That's all she did.
No. Specifically, it was team games, unless I'm going insane. But again, I feel like people heard us say team games.
I remember team games.
But yes, go for it, Wax. Who have you got?
I think I'm gonna say Noodle because of like I don't remember if it was Prenats 3 or Prenats 2, but I remember him not looking too beautiful at like stats wise at one point, and I'm like I'm pretty fucking happy with like what I'm looking at here. Like he's third out of the team, like good, not a great tag ratio, but like an even tag ratio, good base takes, like.
I mean,
Not
he was
many
captaining.
denies,
Obviously,
denies
his
fall,
tag ratio is going to go down.
Everyone
yeah.
was captaining.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think like the way from what we saw at Prenats 3 to this is like a lot nicer. And I did catch a lot of like he did catch a lot of stray shots that I could hear sometimes, like a lot of the blame for things and stuff. So I think this is like he's done well with what he was given.
Yeah. I'm honestly like gonna echo that. Like I thought Noodle was one of the stronger players in the game. To be different, I'd maybe say Potato. Every time I saw him, he was incredibly locked in, breaking his team into bases, was incredibly fundamental in helping them crack whenever they dumped and all that stuff.
I feel like Potato's good at not wasting time. Like he's always in a useful position. He's not like even when he's floating, like his floats are really good. I think that's like he's probably one of the better floats in the game. Like
I agree.
One of the better floats in the game, and like that's.
But he didn't do it, right?
But I'm not sure that's
just because he has bad RNG run and he never pulled the straw. He never pulled the straw. Doesn't make it like it's not his fault.
I understand. Okay, cool. Well, that was Eclipse.
Yeah.
That was a fun one. Let's jump onto Aftershock in 7th place, down 1 from predictions. Where is their worm?
The red line.
Red line. So, solid start.
Okay, till the 4-minute
Yes.
mark and sort of.
Did Ryan just say moving on in chat? What
Moving on.
what is happening?
Ryan is clearly not impressed with this result. I don't see why. I feel like it's a brand new team, and 7th is pretty solid.
This team felt
Yeah.
very up, very down.
Yeah.
Because like I went back and had a look. I think what the lowest they were was like, I think I wrote it down. Did I write it down? 13th. But it felt like I remember looking at it, I thought they were lower than that. But
Yeah,
obviously
I think
not.
they were like
they were in
last
low games.
before, like, because they played a couple of their games in round robin before a
Yeah,
bunch of
maybe
teams
that.
played.
But
So
there
that's
was
what you're
like,
probably thinking about.
yeah, there was a morning where I woke up and I checked the stream and they were playing. And I was like, why are they playing like at the moment? Like it just didn't make sense to me that they were playing at that time slot. I can't remember where it was or what it was, but yeah, it was wild. And then like to see them like up contesting like the upper end and like pushing towards golden games was wild considering where they were earlier in the week.
Can I'm gonna start.
Yeah, that's what I mean, Sam. I didn't think 13th was low. Like I was surprised when I went back and checked because I thought they were lower than 13th. So I'm not. I'm just going off of what I remember, and then I've checked for like where they actually were. So
I think the reference there is that Zam got 13th. So saying that
did he?
13th is
Okay.
low is very hurtful to
You're right. Yeah, my
bad.
That's
Always
actually
copying
crazy.
strays. Always copying strays.
Wait, they went worse than Hobart. What the fuck?
I guess at least they
It
had
is-
4 players as a reason. Like,
I mean, I think in
about
the like while we're on that, I think in the pre-nets, like not the pre-nets review stream before it, I was like, having 5 is dangerous. Like you lose a player, you're like that's gonna axe your game, and you know.
honestly, them playing with 4 makes me happy because I like abused Spider for it. I was like, you have to fucking
You're
take 6.
like no,
Stop
you
being a
take-
fucking idiot. Take
if
6.
if I am on a team of 5, I have to be in a coma not to play, man.
Yeah.
I'm putting a pack on.
Yeah, I think Peregrine. Oh, not Peregrine. Polkram was dying. So
he was their best player while dying. Like he won a game against us by by piggybacking a base while he was dying. It was the best I'd seen him play all comp. But yeah, anyway,
Turned his brain off.
we can stop throwing strays at Rampage. Had Aftershock
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to just point something out that I just noticed. Like I remember a lot of the time we're talking about Mikey and like captaining his tag ratio. He really pulled it up. Like that's 98. Like that's so much better than that's where it needs to be. Like I'm happy with that. Like all their base stats, I think they definitely had like a structure where they were playing like to try and get 6 by the looks of it, or like trying to keep it somewhat lowish bases. The amount of times I was refereeing a game and Ryan would do some absolute magic to get some crazy base like really quickly or something, and it was just like really clean. Like a lot of the time he was doing really well to get his bases. I just think after that's when it started to like really like kind of struggle a little bit. And like I I was refereeing a bunch of their games and I watched a couple really bad losses and stuff. And I remember I said a bunch of stuff to them and it felt like they were somewhat listening, and then they just went back to doing it again. And it's just like there's just some pointless things. Like they would move their last line from under and red to like watching front door, the tight spot. You know, most teams would have like the last line and then a tight player and then the push door. They would try and like push 3 players, kind of like, and it just felt like it wasn't warranted. Someone could sneak through the mid sweep. I guess I'm just talking about one situation, but like there was things about this team. Like we versed them in one of our first training games, and they beat us, and we were like, "Oh fuck! Like, do we suck or have they gotten better?" And then turns out we suck. Um, uh, and then the things they were doing were like really good. They had really quick 3-man pushes. Good. Their 2-man attacks felt like they actually knew what they wanted to do. Like there was things about this team that were really clean. Like it just felt like they just needed to be like more complete. Like the ideas were there. Just
I think this is like a team that like you can clearly see he goes home after each day and does some homework and watches
Yes.
games and like talks and figures it, because like every day they come back a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit like, I don't know. They're like the poster child for doing their homework.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Also, I want to shout out, like probably the wrong time to do it. I want to shout out Benny because like I remember looking at his stats at like pre-1, and
He
like,
got farmed.
he copped some flack for it, but he got farmed pretty bad. And then like you can see he's gone home and he's like, all right, we're not having that again. Like he's gone, he's grinded, he's put his nose down, he's done the work, and like, you know, he turned up, he did all right, he did solid. I'm impressed.
He was him this comp, which was nice to see.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would say this is a team. We've got a few players that are like definitely less experienced, but at least on the defense, there weren't really many weak links or anything. Like Dossie is playing like a 1.3 TR. Like Jesse and Penny both played really well. So like all around, the performance individually was really good.
I just don't. The 13 games from Benny is crazy because I felt like I was seeing good things from Benny. Like that's a crazy sit. Like, are they just sitting him and Beefy, just swapping between? Like, it's criminal. I don't know. Maybe structural things have made it harder to attack with Benny.
I hope it was just more than like a sickness thing, because like I think I don't know. I think you play Benny more than Dossie. Beefy. I don't know.
Yeah, so
know.
Benny's sick
I'd
apparently,
rather have Benny in more, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought, Ryan. Like, I thought that would be an issue because your attack kind of feels like it goes down a lot.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah. So it sounds like Jesse was instrumental in being like the third attacker kind of thing, floating, assisting Holmes and Mikey, and then Dossie was taking that anchor role, so it made it hard to sit all four of them, so it came down to Benny and Beefy. It's rough to see, but with Benny being sick, it makes a bit more sense. But yeah, Benny was playing really well. Beefy had a bit of a rough comp. It could have just been being starved on the weak door, but yeah. Honestly, I see that as a positive, where the team's like at a point where, you know, Beefy might be a weaker player and he can take more of a coaching role kind of thing, or like play certain spots in the arena. But yeah, do we 7th? They're up there. They're definitely up there. But yeah, losing to.
I think the start was just so bad. Like, if the start wasn't as bad as it was, and like the whole comp, the vibe would have been better, and like they might have just been in a better mood. They would have like been able.
Also, you get more time. Like you get a couple more games against more applicable teams. Whereas if you have a bad start, you've got to climb out of playing teams that you were hoping to only play once or twice, right?
Yeah, I think both of those are really good points. Like, yeah. It feels like the vibe was down and they didn't get that experience needed to like crack into those top tier teams. And yeah, Church apparently, speaking to Ryan, yeah, Church brought a lot of the vibes to the team. So when the team gets down from losing it, sometimes you need those players to bring it back up. So definitely a loss in a few ways, losing Church for this team. But 7th still quite commendable. Who have we got for MVPs, guys?
Based on what I already said, I'm going to stick with Benny.
Wax?
Based off what I said, I'm just like reffing some beautiful takes from Ryan, so I'm just gonna say Ryan.
And I'm gonna go Mikey because again, like played really well. This comp picked it up so far from the last one. It was really good to see. All right, let's go on to 6th. We had Archangels meeting their predictions, and they had the red line. No, I'm
blue
so
dotted
blind,
line.
man. Blue dotted line. So wow, first 5 minutes they don't play the game, and then the last 7 they do,
and they turn it on.
They skyrocket like mad, like top level points. That's insane. They had some of the highest average scores of the whole comp. That's
yeah, I would have been able to guess that this is how their line worked from reffing their games. They just play so slow at the start, but like they're also throwing themselves at bases. So it's like
It had to watch. The
Yeah,
amount of
I
times we'd have a meeting and be like, "Okay, guys, you don't need this
stop.
base. You don't need this base. Just pack point. You guys are so good if you pack point." And yeah, so they just kept on getting denied early game, and it's like, what? And then getting more denies because they're getting denied early game. Like I think the denial stat on this team is going to be the wildest one around. But yeah, go on, Max.
Dude, tag rate, like I'm
So-
looking at this, it's so like clean. Like the tag ratio is good. They got Rizzler with a 160 like last line tag ratio. Like their base is pretty good. Like the only thing I'm seeing statistic wise, like maybe I want to see like more of an even spread with the sitting, but like it's kind of I guess it's fine-ish. Like um I don't like watching their game. It just like their defense was pretty. The game I remember reffing a green game. Their defense was in shambles, but like the rest of the comp, like I remember their defense being pretty strong and like I just
I think Rizzler was a huge pick for this team. Like of the team, like the players that got promoted into Archangels, I think Rizzler, like not that not that anyone else wasn't, but I think Rizzler had a huge impact in stepping into the last line role, and like I don't know,
yeah.
he
Rizzler was really strong.
super solid.
I remember seeing him a lot in green. He was really strong in green, but I don't know
Yeah,
about the
yeah,
other
yeah.
bases.
I think
seeing
I think I
blue,
remember
but-
seeing him blue, and I was pretty impressed with his blue last line as well.
Yeah, I think like this team was solid. Like overall, like I just don't know what like looking at these stats is crazy. Like they got sick. That's good, but like they wanted ice cream. They needed to make finals. Like
I mean, like they get six is good because like they were like pretty much up towards the like they were in the top 10 most of the comp or the whole comp, right?
yes,
I
pretty
feel.
sure.
They had a
Pretty
rough
sure they were.
start. They definitely had a rough
Yeah,
start.
okay.
I don't know if they dropped out of bottom 10, but they weren't. It was maybe ninth or
They
something.
weren't happy
but-
about it.
Yeah, it wasn't where they like coming back off pre-nats finals. It was a very rough start for them, and they weren't playing like they were at pre-nats.
Yeah, you look like you were cooking just then, Ron. Surely you tear them a new one, or have you already done that?
I was doing it a lot throughout the
Say it
comp.
in public. Say it in public.
I mean, yeah. Again, like that, they had a really good structure at pre-3, and then they came into this comp and they got really base hungry, and they just kept on shooting bases when they shouldn't have. Like they were really good when they played a slow game,
Oh,
and then they'd maybe dump at the end if it wasn't going their way. But they were pulling a lot of 3-man attacks, a lot of oh shit, we got denied, we need more attackers because we're getting denied.
wait, yeah,
And this was the story of the first half of their comp was that they were just doing this stuff, and then by the end of the comp when they're like, okay, let's like play properly and go back to our original structure, it was they just didn't have that the top end experience. And it's a similar story to Aftershock, where they hadn't played against Catalyst and those top tier teams enough, and they hadn't perfected their final strat, which if they had spent more time playing their final strat, I think they could have gone a bit further. But sixth is pretty solid.
this I just only noticed now. They are my goat team. Look at these deny stats. What is going
That's
on?
what I was saying. They love.
Let's
They're like
go.
the moth mentality was wild.
The base, shoot the base, please.
And every team meeting after would be like, guys, why the fuck did you shoot that base? Lamp.
The lamp is crazy.
the old 1-up strat of like I shot a dude and I'm halfway in the door. I'll put a shot in now so that I've got a shot in early.
W strategy.
Uh,
Last line still alive. Guess who shot denied by the last line? Damn it.
I
Yeah,
think so. One of the team had a fantasy team which was just Archangels, and that is optimizing the worst possible team because they just got fucking denied so
Denied
much.
stats.
Oh jeez.
I guess that makes the stats look worse when you really think about it, like how bad those deny stats are. Like all of them.
But yes, when they played their proper structure, really good team where you have 6 really good players, and they're capable of locking down the game, and they're capable of pack pointing really well and all keeping their TRs high. And in that game, I think they're really good at calling it. It's just when they were doing their other stuff, it was less good to watch.
Yeah.
They also weren't dumping it much, which was sad because dumping got them into finals at Pro 3 a bit. Not every game, but like they'd pull it when they needed to. And I thought dumping was a really good way to pull back a win in this maze anytime you were slightly down. So I was hoping for a bit more of that, but yeah. Sometimes they didn't need to. Sometimes they'd just go more aggressive and it'd work, so they'd do it more, and then it wouldn't work, and that sort of stuff. But in the last day, again, they played their structure. They played well. They got up to sixth,
Sixth is still a good result.
especially for a team that's been around 2 or 3 years. Like, and I think a lot of, yeah, again, a lot of people were like, they're gonna suck out of home maze kind of thing. But they got way better out of it. So that's good to see. It shows a team where I think the biggest thing is individually they all improved so much between Hobart Nats and ZLTAC. Like genuinely every one of them so much improvement, and I'm guessing you guys would have seen the same.
Yeah, 100%. The only thing that like I'm just thinking about now is like like we were hyping up Grace a lot, and she did well, but like I feel like
turned
she
up
could
more
be.
in side events than she did in teams. I think
Yeah.
she still turned up in teams, but just not quite as much as
She
others.
like I feel like she showed us something that she could be. I don't know. It was Princess 3 or whenever it was, but yeah, Princess 3, and like these stats are like they're okay. Like I feel like she could be the second person on the team, and like being that second strong attacker with Sega.
Yeah, I mean she was first on the team at Prenats 3 when they were making finals and stuff. I'll give her some copium and say her leg was injured and maybe sick as well. So that definitely slowed down her game.
I would
a
bounce
lot,
off of
but
what Sega put in the chat. I think he did a pretty decent job of captaining this team, especially like given how high they're playing. But like in going off of the feelings and experience, there were definitely a few moments that I saw like the greenness of like a fresh captain cost them. Like it wasn't too often, but there was definitely like a game here or a game there that it was like, I think if you'd been captaining another year or two, you don't miss that.
yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
And I think it was an expectations thing. Like they just got Prenats results, and it's like, are we expecting this to continue? It's realistically
I
with
have lost audio. That's terrible.
oh no. Realistically with a team that new, probably can't expect too highly. But it was just rough to watch because when they play well, they play so phenomenal.
Yeah.
But yeah, like first year captain, newer
Yeah.
players. Really good result overall. Who have we got for MVPs?
I'm just gonna say Rizzler because he was so solid under the base. Like helped those 160 tag ratios so good, especially with how bad some of the comms were.
Anyone you want to shout out in particular?
Dom on backdoor of green.
No, people still walking past Dom.
Yeah. Not walking past, but just too late. Like
Okay.
way too late.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to walk past someone in green backdoor, but they can give you a shit com.
And Firebird is dead, so it's just us now, Axe.
Oh no.
I'll go for my MVP. Yeah, I mean, I think where Shurikitty stepped down, Sega stepped up. He played very well in a role where again you're just fighting battles alone on the other side of the maze. And I think he was soloing a lot of bases. Which again maybe they didn't need to do, but at least when he was trying, it was generally working more than when like Tiger and Shurikitty were doing it.
Are you sure? 1.5?
Oh, did he go 1.5? Okay, sorry. Well, he had the tenacity when it didn't work.
He didn't give up.
He did not give up, whereas they gave up and didn't get their base. Let me look at these stats properly. Yeah, so he ended up with like a 1.6 after Coffin the denies. But again, like
Things again. Cool.
bothed.
Yeah.
Okay. I've already you can't make me take it back. I'll still stick by saying it, but yes, the moth mentality will hopefully not be present in future. Who have you got for MVP Firebird?
Who did you guys pick?
I gave a Sega, and Wax got a Rizzler, but feel free to double up. We're not against double
I back both of those. I want to say Mantis because I heard a few comments here, like just here and there throughout the comp, and I think she's got really good awareness of like the game and a good read on the game.
It's a very good point, and
I think that's something that gets like underrated a lot or not talked about.
We've been saying for so many years because Mantis has played like as long as I have, and it's like she understands the game so well. So like
She's played as long as you have.
not competitively maybe, but like yeah, like when
That's crazy.
when I was 10, she was playing social nights and stuff. So she started playing competitively a bit before Rumble. So what, like 2020-ish kind of thing. But yeah, been around a long time. And maybe some training, but like some training nights back in like 2013. She knows the game is the thing. And in a maze like Bendigo, where you can be a bit more free form and the awareness I think takes over a lot in a maze like that, you can be really effective. And she was, I think, really strong in Hobart as well. Whereas in a maze like Aubrey, it's a bit more just like, can you brawl? They're gonna walk in a straight line at you, and then they're gonna duel you. Can you duel them back? And the float routes were a bit less like awareness centric. It was a bit more, again, can you brawl? So she struggled a bit more in this maze. But yeah, the awareness is so there. Cool. Anything we missed out on you, Brock, or are we good to move on?
I think that's what I had.
Womp womp, no ice cream, bozos.
We good.
Awesome. With that, we move on to 5th place, Storm.
I should have left my camera off.
I know.
Perfect timing. I was worried we'd lost him. Oh man. What do we got?
Yellow.
So
dotted.
Storm dotted yellow, pretty middling on all parts. Maybe a really good 5th minute kind of performance, and then drops off a bit, but it's a bit, yeah, up and down into a middling performance. So perfectly middle of the pack. What have we got for Storm, guys?
I just need to like look at this quickly, and then I can. Say
I don't want. I hate talking about myself. I like you can prompt me, but I don't know. We suck. I hate talking about Storm. I hate talking about my team.
Well, Wax, I'm just the facilitator, so take us away.
I don't want to. I don't want to start. That's toxic.
All
right, I'll start. I'll just like, obviously, like the Cairns captaining into you captaining thing is like a big setback during nationals.
Yeah, we basically lost like all the training we did at the start of nationals. Like, yes, there's value there, but like any of the team game stuff we did, we sort of like threw a chunk of that away with me not captaining there. Like even the 6 weeks or so, or 2 months leading up to Nats with Cairns captaining that time, like was not wasted, but like well and truly underutilized. Like that hurt us a lot.
So give us the story here. So for the viewers lacking context, and I've got a rough context, was it pre-Nats Firebird captaining, and then Cairns captaining in the lead?
Pre-Nats I captained, and then it was also like I can't remember what it was. I had things on happening somewhere, and I can't remember what it was. It wasn't like one thing, but I missed a couple of trainings. And in that time, like we had a bunch of teams trainings. So, you know, the question was who runs when Brock's not running. And like in the past, we've had Shock do it. And obviously Cairns coming over from like captaining Spartans. We're like, we'll let Cairns captain. And we ran that. And like, you know, I had a conversation with Lauren, and she's like, if you've got an issue with it, you can captain. If like at the end of the day, and my answer on any team that I'm on is like I will play whatever position is necessary for us to do well and for the team to feel comfortable. So like no, like I mean I've come around on that. I've come around on the
table, just lightly. Like, I just want to like slam on the table, just like, hey, this is what I want. I don't want to just.
We basically orchestrated a coup halfway through round robin. Like. We had like a string of games that just like they weren't feeling right. We weren't coming, like if it didn't feel right and we were coming out winning, like that's one thing. But we weren't coming out winning and it didn't feel good and nothing felt like it was meshing or moving or working. I remember like I drove I drove some of the boys home to the comm, and then I had to go back and get the other half of the team and drive them home. And on the way home, like we sat in silence for a few minutes, and I think someone was like, "Can you captain again?" I was like, "We'll have the conversation." So we talked about it. We went back to me doing it. Everything like didn't go back. It was shaky, especially having like not done any practice for it for like like 2 months. But we picked it up and it felt better, and we got back in our groove.
Definitely looked better.
Felt better from my end, but
I guess
I'm
the
back
vibe,
in my comfort position.
if people are more comfortable, that always helps. Like if
Yeah.
things are uncomfortable, it's definitely harder to like, even if maybe
If-
Cairns was doing better captaining, if people aren't vibing with it, like
I
then
think we
it's not
captain
gonna be
in
better.
like now that I've done it on the same team as Cairns, I think we captain in drastically different ways.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I think
100%.
yeah, Cairns captain's very, very like time focused, and
Yeah.
I am built around like how I'm like vibes. How does it feel? Do I think we're winning? Do I think we're winning by a lot? Do I think we're getting cooked? Like
I definitely noticed that at Prenet's one. Like he was like, "Wax, do this." I'm like, "I already did it." He's like, "What?" But it's just like all like the timing of like what he sees and stuff, and he's so used to having people who either he doesn't trust to do it at the right time, or people who don't see it. So it's one of those things that's kind of hard for him to be like, "Listen to me," but like he doesn't. No one knows what the fuck he's like doing. Like I understand his like.
there's a
frustration.
reason behind you doing what you're doing, but like yeah. I don't know. It just didn't work for like how we have been playing all the time. And like that was one of the things I said to Lauren early on when we were talking about taking Cairns. I was like, I'm on board with it. He's a great player, but I don't want to turn into Spartans 2.0, like Spartans 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Because I think we play differently. Like
Yeah.
from the outside at a surface level, it probably looked it's like similar in a lot of ways, but I think at its core we're like two very different teams.
I will say one thing: good denial stats. No one's getting absolutely pulled apart. Everyone's like getting denied, but it's not like no one's like getting farmed. Like I'm happy with all of that. I'm like pretty happy with most of the stats. Like maybe your tag ratio.
Oh,
but
my tag ratio. There's like the back 2 or 3 days, there was like a switch flipped, and I just couldn't tag people. I couldn't win a brawl outright. Like I stood next to Littlebow, and he just like shot me. He put me through 2 reloads, and I was like, "What am I doing?" I stood next to like there's a bunch of people, and I don't know. Something happened at the middle of the comp, and my brain turned off, and I just got like torn apart.
I guess like not captaining and then people wanting you to do it and then being thrown back into it and trying to like be better so that the team's better. Like just all those things is kind of hard to like overwhelm
Yeah,
yourself.
I've always had a problem with like focusing on the macro of the team more than and like letting myself get shot too much for it. Like that's been a problem for me for years.
Yeah.
Like something I need to fix, but like I don't know, that's hard for me to fix because I just keep focusing on what's the state of the game, what are we doing, what do we need to do, how do I like who do I need, what pieces do I need to move, what do I need to check, and I'm getting shot a bunch at the same time.
How much is Shock being like autonomous in this structure?
With me captaining?
With you captaining, yeah.
He like when we're like pushing a base together, like things feel seamless. Shock's the easiest person to attack with that I've ever like paired with. Like that's seamless. Like we bounce off each other really, really well. When we're sort of like in farm mode, he's purely autonomous. He's on his own. Like he knows what to do. We know how to pick up each other. Like if either of us see something, like we've always been good at communicating and working out,
Yeah, cool. Because I think a part of that, I think we discussed it a bit in some previous streams and stuff, is like lightening the load on the captain so the captain can still shoot stuff, and giving autonomy to the players. But if the team structure is shifting a lot, then it's very hard to give autonomy to people when the roles aren't defined because everyone's been doing different stuff. And yeah, I think it's a good case study of how much A, mindset, and B, like structural changes can affect the team so much. And it's been the story for a lot of these teams with the mindset thing. Yeah, anything else we want to speak to? Strengths, weaknesses?
I'll just say that like Moss's performance is really good as well. Like
Moss is an
1.67,
absolute unit.
Beat me
like
to it.
doing absolute like work, and he's got a 1.8. So like he's not getting crazy bases, but he's getting a base every
Wait,
so often.
like there was a period through the middle where like we just didn't get Moss out a whole bunch. Like, yeah,
But he's putting in work, so it doesn't matter realistically.
Yeah, like he's so good at last lightning that sometimes, like, depending on, like, we couldn't take him out a lot from blue because just like when we had anyone else last lightning blue, like our defense statistics just dropped really badly.
Yeah, I think Moss for me has always been a last line, like where it's like if I don't surprise him, there's no point having it remotely a crack. Like he's in that upper echelon, and he has been all throughout Aubrey. And I always talk to people, and they're like, must you just like shoot him in the gun and play stuff? I'm like, I'm not saying it like you guys are.
I used to think that until this comp.
Even practicing against Moss, like you get him with one thing and he instantly fixes it.
Yeah,
it's like it's not an issue anymore.
I feel like before this comp, I would have been like, just shoot him in the fucking gun. Shut up and just shoot him in the gun. And I could even do that on pro, where like this comp, I felt like I couldn't fucking hit him at all. Like no matter what, like there was just nothing.
I mean, like look at the games. Like Moss was the most integral part of the team that we couldn't sit.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay. Shall we jump onto MVPs? Take us away, guys.
I'm just gonna say Moss for everything we just said.
I'll say Shock because he's my attacking buddy. He's my doubles partner.
For sure. I'm also gonna echo Shock. I think this year we stepped in. So yeah.
Shock
is always such a young player. With like where he gives the impression.
Players, I think.
Where he gives the impression of like not many thoughts behind his eyes, but it's kind of like Wax in the sense that he actually knows the game incredibly well, and Pack on Pack. What do you mean, Wax? So many people will be like, what the like Wax is just like someone that just like throws tantrums and shoots stuff really good, but it's like no, he actually understands the game insanely well.
I have had this argument so many times because there's like it happens.
Who the fuck is yapping? I need names.
Hang on.
Right there.
We'll get to that. Hang on, because there's, I have that conversation all the time at home because, Wax is going to run training and everyone laughs because it's a meme because Wax is dumb and we like to poke fun at Wax. But like, Wax runs some of everything you set up at training is set up for like a reason and a purpose. There's no wasted sessions. I really enjoy your training sessions because like there's a reason why we're doing shit, and people like to talk smack about it because it's funny to bully Wax, not because you run bad training sessions or anything.
W Brock.
So yeah, Shock's had a
stop talking you up now.
No, we got him dumb already. I think that...
I'm about to be like absolutely pulled apart in like 10 minutes, so I can get gassed up for like other stuff.
I think we're still balancing the negatives pretty well to keep it in check. But yeah, in the same sense, Shock's like Shock at home was like, Shock, why are you eating 5 burgers a day? What are you doing? And then he'd play in trackies and like shoot stuff pretty well.
He talked me into trackies this comp, and now I'm doing it at home as well. I'm doing it back in Queensland.
Actually,
yeah, so you've got all these very amusing aspects, but this year he really developed and showed himself to be genuinely one of the best players of the comp, one of the best players in Australia. Like he is at that crazy top level. Like he is carrying a top level team in top level games. I'm keen to. I'm very keen to watch.
I think the maze is changing, but like I've watched that guy do like the dumbest shit in training sessions and like QPLs in that maze.
Yeah, and it's gonna be really interesting to watch him in his home ground because he's so bloody good. So for that reason, yeah, MVP definitely goes to Shock this year for me. Let's jump on to the next. So Dragons up in 4th, exactly as predicted, boys. Exactly as predicted. Everything is going as I have foreseen.
I will say I was Mr. Negative on Dragons, so I'll take.
I don't think I was like an advocate like Runt was, but I think I was more of an advocate.
From memory, Ryan and Runt were the advocates, and you and I were like,
I think they
had that moment.
Yeah, they could go up or down. Like there's like a wild card team to pick.
And they did go up and down. They always finish it in fourth, like we know they can.
Always
Because-
finishing fourth.
No, they get into it. They get into it.
New not Archangel. Sorry.
New Aftershock.
Yeah, new Aftershock.
Yeah, for them, it's always just gonna be that crux of once you get into a finals level game, can you still like is their overall pack skill enough to keep up? And often it's not. Maybe soon we'll see that change, but at least in terms of getting to the golden games, they're always so good for it, and you love to see it. What's their scoreline looking like? They were
Pink dotted.
yeah. What are they doing?
Pretty,
Come out of the gates
pretty
swinging,
mid game,
and
not
then like
great.
fall off through the mid.
They come out of the gate so strong.
Yeah.
Which is fair because how many games did they instantly start it with a base? Like I remember like so many games. Like even our Golden Game 3 game, they instantly got our base within like 1 minute, and I was like, "Fuck!" Holy shit. And I just hear Finn saying, "Easy base, easy base," and I'm like, "Holy fuck!"
Oh my god! Because that's right. It was like insanely close in that third golden game, wasn't it?
Yes,
Was it? I thought you guys.
it
you
was.
had control
It
of that.
was, but I'll take the blame for it because I pretty much like started like doing too much, like to try and not lose. That was panic.
Yeah. So 2K difference in the final game. But their run, they started in like 11th. Why are they there? They lose to teams they shouldn't be losing to, I'm guessing. And they weren't really. Were they dumping much? I don't think they were dumping much. They were just trying to play a
don't
safe
think
They
game.
had some really good like 4-man like rushes.
Mm.
Like that was something that we actually talked about, but we never pulled it off because like we just didn't practice like execution of it. And by the time I was captaining, I was like, that's terrifying to try and orchestrate without any like practice and try to work the kinks out in like late Cascade 1, Cascade 2.
Yeah. Now, interesting point from Nova. Going through the checklist, no Gus and no VG for Cascades. That hurts. That hurts a lot. That hurts an insane degree. And I definitely remember, yeah, the best thing these guys was like, oh, VG isn't in the game. That's weird. That sucks because he's probably sick. So that's probably why they were so low, and then they climbed so far. But climb was still very good nonetheless. What do we notice about this team?
I just found my new GOAT team. Look at the denied stats. Look at them. They were the moths. They are the.
The trophy always comes back home to them.
Holy, my goats dragons.
This was my like emotional team as well, because like this team I saw like come out and like absolutely tear each other apart. Like they come out of a game, they'd lose, they tear shreds off each other. Like
OG Dragons are back. They're so back.
None of this is constructive. Stop.
They're so back.
Jesus Christ.
And like if they were having a good day, like it felt like it ran into a couple of games. But if they had a bad game, they'd come out and tear shreds off each other, and then have another bad game because of it.
The denied stats are crazy. I thought that was the base stats. That's actually VG's denied stats is higher than his base stats. Same. Gustus's base
money, baby.
and deny are the same. Jesus Christ. Wasn't Nufa like attacking so much? What his base stats 0.8.
Nufa was more like Nufa was not like he was more in the mid, wasn't he?
That's why he was running at the end.
I don't think he was running.
What?
Actually, I need to respond to him because I was messaging him after that, so life got in the way and I haven't responded. But like he was talking about like they do the like not one dedicated captain thing, and trust each other to make calls and and vibe it a bit, which I think makes sense with like the way they like throwing numbers at things periodically.
Numbers at bases or and
yeah.
Or...
they still got fourth.
Like even like they don't have the last line stats. Like shifter stats aren't like 1.10. I don't think I don't remember if they were doing much more than like doing much else as well as last signing, but like I remember I remember playing them early, and I was like, their structure was really good, and the way that they were doing things was really like solid at first, and I think it dropped off at one point, and then at the end again, it felt like they were doing it again, where they were doing the 3-man hits, they were doing the quick and fast at base takes, and they were like not playing the slower meta, they were playing like we go now, everybody, and just like trying to like force the bases and stuff, which was working well for them, and obviously it got them here. So
So
I think Azoran fit in really well as well.
he
Azoran
did. He got the exact
he-
same denial
he's
stats as him.
fine.
You love to see it.
Not what I
don't
meant. but-
know- I don't know how. I thought he was mainly defending. That's awesome. But yes, Azoran, I think we saw it at Prenats 3 where he really stepped up his game, right? And he's maintained his game, I think, pretty solidly. Like TR's up at 1 when they're playing some decent games. You love to see it.
I think TRs are all solid here. No one like Finn's. I was about to say Finn's going crazy, but that's his base stat. Like I think Finn had a pretty solid comp. Like except for the denies. I'm just like the meme aside, like the denies are just not pretty to look at. Like it's not good.
Man. But yeah, like Finn, especially to play to keep the TR up without BG in the game and stuff. Like he's clearly having to be the one to play far and stuff. So like good on him for doing that well. I'm guessing Gus was also there. How'd defense feel for these guys? I think their base was dropping relatively easy from the games I played.
I think their defense was like one of the easier ones to crack in the top end games. Like you put Catalyst and Dragons in an arena, and I think Dragons base is more likely to be the easy one to drop. But
now, Wax,
what's high standard to hold them against?
Now, Wax, what's your perspective? Because that obviously didn't ring true in your games.
Wait. I'm not actually. I don't really remember. I think a lot of the time they had. It felt like I don't even remember. I don't remember that last game. I don't remember, but I remember before that last game, Dragons were fine. Like we had no issue with Dragons. And then that last game, I think maybe because a little bit of nerves, because we were like, wait, we're not making finals, we suck. So it was like it was kind of like more stressful than it should have been.
Man, because what happened that game? Like did they dump?
So in the golden game, as soon as it started, Finn got our base, and then
you guys got ours as well.
We
right?
got ours. We got Storm really quickly as well, and then we got another Storm really quickly because we knew that the 3-man push from red to blue was really. We liked the 3-man push from red to blue really a lot, so we just like abused Storm, and then
we
kind
knew
of
you were going to do it, and we just like all bled bases for it as well.
Yeah, like it did feel like you.
We talked about it. We knew you were going to do it because you've done it. You did it to us a few games. Like you did it to us, like the blue to red push as well. Like you booked like an earlier game, like the day prior or the same day. I think you took a base off us in like 20 seconds or something. We're like, we can't be dropping that shit.
Yeah, like we really loved that. So we were trying. I think we did that a couple times, and then I think you guys didn't have anything. So then you dumped.
We were in pretty bad shape by the halfway time. We that's the game. Like you throw the Hail Mary and you go for it. Like,
and the dump was like pretty decent because it started clawing you guys back, and then like we were fighting the Dragons for the dump base by accident, and like.
But Wax, you knew this would happen, right? If you heavy cycle a team's base, you know they're gonna dump.
Oh no, 100%. The thing is, we weren't like it wasn't an issue. The issue was when we attacked Dragons, we were useless. Like, so like, and we were. I don't remember if we were defending the dump well. Like, if it
felt like you guys defended the dump well. Like that was one of the harder dumps we've like the least successful ones we ran was that golden 3.
Runt, stop fucking smiling, you little smirky
so
little
funny.
cunt. The big issue with this game was I accidentally started to panic and like fully started captaining, which was the problem because Dodge was like, "We're doing this," and then I was like, little bro, come to green, do this, and it was like no good because I was like, we're gonna lose. Dodge, we need to do something. Dodge isn't doing anything. I'm doing it. We're doing it. We're going now, and it was just like it was nearly bad. Like 2,000 points. It should not have been that close.
So circling back, the defense is really strong then.
I refrain from answering. Not.
I think
for
Shift
the
is
rest.
a good, like I've said it before. I think Shift is a good last line for this team. Like I think as a run slot in well. Like maybe there's a little bit of green. Nufa, type in chat.
It was rough to see Nufa having to sit those last games, because Nufa obviously like brings so much.
He played the last one.
Did he? I don't know, man.
Yeah, he played the last golden game because he spoke to me after about how he couldn't get our base at the end.
Oh, fair enough. I feel like Nufa was sitting on the last day. I just vaguely remember that and be like, why is Nufa sitting? But Nufa actually, yeah, Nufa went insane at pre-3, and he had a much rougher time at this one. Sickness again? What's the go here? Okay, so he's at a blue. But yeah, so these guys didn't bring out many dumps. Were they 3-2ing? Were they playing the meta of the two people just floating around? Was Finn anchoring after he got bases? Like, what was going on?
I don't really remember.
I don't remember what Finn was doing after he got bases. I don't remember seeing him, so maybe he was anchoring after that. I honestly, that feels like it's been ages. I'd see like combinations of like a 2-out, like two people sort of floating and looking for things. Finn's on door defense. And like I like especially reffing, I saw it a few times where like they'd like pull through it, like swing out run 4 people at a base at a really good like they pick their moments pretty well for the most part. I think like they'd run 4 at a base, pick something up, and like reset back into their farming formation or like looking for opportunities. From a ref, I really liked watching their like transitions between like utilizing the 3-4 man like smashes.
Yeah, the smashes and stuff were really clean because it felt like that was like their strongest part of what they were doing.
That's good to see because I remember Apex showing us the potential of the smashes in this maze with your heavy 3 and 4 man hits. So and then Apex weren't doing it too much. So I'm happy one team was. But yeah, no, like it feels like another team ravaged by sickness. But then when they can play, they can play really well, and they can play this maze like they proved they can at Prenuts. Let's go on to MVP, shall we? Who have we got?
Oh boy. I want to give it to Nufa because I talked some smack in the prior stream where I was worried about him, like his energy, like breaking this team a little bit. And I don't think that happened like I was expecting it to. So I think he turned up. He was a positive for the team. He did well. I am going to give Nufa that.
Go for Wax.
Easy points. Finn for sure. Just good base takes, always good energy, like bit toxic, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'll go VG. I think he always locks in, and locked in pretty well considering it seems like he was sick throughout pretty much the whole comp, which is rough to play through. But yeah, my goat's in 4th. You'd love to see him there. I was worried, but I always had faith. I think on the last day we were just watching the games like, nah, Dragons win these, and they just kept winning these. You love to see it. Okay, so going on to 3rd, we had Apex up 8 spots from predictions, and
Let's go.
We were sleeping on Apex.
Their worm is a steady, insane climb where they finish with the highest average score of the competition. Take us away, guys.
These guys were like awesome. They were like
Go to the next screen.
Yeah. I was super impressed with like memeless running things. I think is like still slept on as a captain and what he can pull off. I think they're like they were well oiled. They were all like playing really, really well. I liked a lot of what I saw from No Idea stepping up. Like Ninja stepping into like what he was doing. I think Bonfire is like phenomenal. I saw a lot of good things.
Yeah, from like the way that they were playing, their structure. I know that like Memeless was running, but I think Ninja had a lot of influence from like his captaining stuff. So like I think the way that they were playing was like really good and just consistent. Like Bonfire's like stats are pretty strong. It just sucks to see that he had to sit a bit more because I think he was really sick. Um, and I think he sat blue or something, or one. Oh no, maybe not blue. Maybe it was green, but he sat one of the bases, which is depressing to see because like obviously he's like their strongest player on statistics wise. It was just solid and it was really cool seeing like it was really honestly kind of crazy how good I thought they were like Cascade 2. I was like, oh, Apex are cooking. Like they're doing really well. Like the things I'm seeing is like really strong. Like they're making good decisions. Like
we had conversations about that, like seeing them as like in finals. Yeah, when like because I clearly we missed it. That's the funny thing. But like we were having conversations like, if we make it,
Sorry, I
you know.
can. Sorry.
Yeah, no, but we had the
like,
conversation after Cascade 2 of, you know, there's a chance the finals could be like Vikings Apex us. And we
yeah,
needed to, like we had to talk about what we thought that looked like. So
yeah, no, that was definitely
unfucking lucky, Brock.
I mean,
We swapped.
nah, we suck. We proved it.
Oh,
We
man.
got there, but we still sucked.
It was so funny because until the last day we were like, yeah, us and Catalyst, and then we saw like Catalyst on like Cast 2, and we're like, us and who? What is happening in this comp?
Yeah.
Um,
Give me some more minutes and then we can talk about that. Let's
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about Apex.
Yes,
No, like I was super impressed with Apex. Like I saw a couple of things. Like there was like Golden Game 2. I felt like I like was in good control of that game for most of it, and then like I knew Apex were about to do something because they were out of it, and they like I don't know whether they split dumped or whether they dumped and bounced because I wasn't on that side of the arena, and I didn't rewatch it because I was cranky about me being bad. But like they left, picked up like 3 bases and came home, and like we got nothing done in that time. And like, man, I just watched the game like fall away from me. I'm like, well, congrats, Apex. Like, and it's not just like the right thing to do at the right time, but it was also like the way they did it. I think it was like a fairly complex maneuver to pull off with 5 people and make it look like really well oiled, and like everyone was where they needed to be and everyone went back to where they needed to be, and it was all really, really quick and efficient. I think that speaks to the team as a whole. It speaks to Memeless as a captain, and I think for me that's an example of like how and why they ended up where they ended up. I think they did really, really well. And I mean, I saw moments like that earlier in the comp as well. Like their structure was always really, really solid.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
this was
I
like,
was super impressed with this team.
yeah, this was like
Yeah.
Apex when it feels like they don't necessarily plan out what they're gonna do, but they can pull stuff together with really good synergy.
They can
In the
read a
game,
game and play a game.
really, really well, and do those ballsy things like the 3-man attacks, the dumps when they're losing, and the balls pay off. It was really good to see these guys play an aggressive game in a defensive maze and get to finals with it. It was awesome. But they weren't like pure aggression. They could play a slow game at the start of the game too. It was really good to see these guys like be rounded. It was awesome. Any weaknesses we saw with these guys?
I will just say, like looking at the stats, like Marmaduke being a bit of a cowboy sometimes with the denies, but I definitely did notice that. Like I think we said it last stream as well. Like the connection between the brothers are like it's not as strong in my opinion anymore. It just feels like one of them would do something and the other one would do the different thing, and it just never worked like as fluently. But I think like the way that the team as a whole played was like so much better, so that stuff doesn't matter as much.
Yeah, so yeah, I think weaknesses, I don't know, like it felt like sometimes they'd commit and get nowhere. It was kind of like Outlaws where sometimes they'd commit and if it wouldn't work, there goes the game kind of thing. But when they committed and it worked, awesome. So good to see. But yeah, and I think in finals they did a lot, like they were holding so many back at blue. Like it felt like I'd have 4 guns on me like so much of the game, which sucked for me. But I also knew they weren't getting much points. So I think maybe they could have been a bit more aggressive at blue there, for example. But yeah, like anything else from you guys, or should we go on to MVPs?
I would just say something about finals. Like it definitely felt like in finals, like obviously, like you guys played a lot better than everyone. We had been there, so like we weren't as nervous. But I could definitely feel like they weren't nervous, but they definitely weren't as comfortable and as like it definitely like first finals, like not really bad, but like at least enough to make it not seem like they were as good.
Mm,
I don't know what the vibe you got from that was, but
for sure. They felt conservative in finals because it felt like it was a big thing for them to be there, and they felt like they weren't playing quite the game that they must have been playing in the lead up. Because they did try to open up the game, and again, props to them. They knew that Vikings were ahead, and they tried to 3-minute attack your base and got shut down for it and all that stuff. But like, I'd still like to see some dumps. I'd like to see some sends. I'd like to see a more aggressive opening to game 2. I'd like to see yeah, less conservative nature when you know you're down, even though they tried. I fully acknowledge they tried, but like I wanted the full sends that we were seeing in the lead up games, because we were so ready for like the dumps and the counter dumps and for it to just go insane, and then it was just a lot of conservative from both teams, where I think both of you guys were worried about playing yourselves into third kind of stuff. But I don't know. I love seeing Apex do the ballsy stuff instead. But let's go MVPs. Who have we got, guys?
You got to go first this time, Wax.
what? I feel like I've gone first every time. I will just say Ninja because like these guys have always been pretty strong, and then obviously maybe not. He's given them something that's like helped them take it to the next step to like to get here.
I say memeless because I was really impressed with like some of the captaining and some of the reads and things that were pulled off. Like not just in the golden game, but like in earlier games as well. Like I was saying, I'm very impressed.
For sure. I'm gonna say Bonfire because you guys left me with an easy option, and I back it so much. He was so dialed in this comp. It was crazy. Like yeah, he'd be so
He's cracked.
Thank you, Skitchy, for following, for subscribing, following. Awesome. Yeah, he was so good for just like you'd peek your sensor around a wall and he's instantly hitting it, like just locked in. Really good stuff to see from Bonfire, and like seeing him firing on all cylinders for the first time since maybe Brisbane, I want to say. Like this is him firing. It was awesome to see. But yeah, with oh my god, the follow train's going crazy. So yes, hype for Apex. Very nice work. Very good to see you guys back. Have they found an exploit here? Very good to see Apex back in form, and this new Apex team is so good to see, and I'm really keen to see what they can bring to future comps. But yeah, going on, Catalyst. Let's find the worm, shall we? It's
Good
blue
start.
worm. Very good start. And then finishes around the medium.
Slap everyone around at the 4-minute mark.
Take us away, guys.
I think Dodge did a really good job captaining, like stepping into that role. I don't know how much like you guys, because you've been a team for so long and you're so used to how to play, what to do. Maybe it was easy or like easier for him, or you were able to help him out and support him a lot more in that role. I think that was good. I think Little Bo deserves a shout out because he was more like Big Bo this comp. Like as far as I'm concerned, I saw a lot of like Little Bo turning up in a lot of different spots and positions. It was very like good to see. I was impressed with Jimmy, especially given like the time off he'd take, or Falcon, I should say, I suppose. The time off that Falcon took, and like when he came back and started playing, it was a little rough. And like to see him over the course of the year, and then by finals, or like by the end of or finals day of Nats, like how and where he was playing was really good. Like he definitely like came all the way up. What else have I got written down?
Looking
Yeah,
at
I-
this makes me so sick.
What have you
Why
What
am
have
I
you got?
here?
What have you got to add?
Why am I
Surely-
here?
surely
I
you've
said
got-
I didn't want to be
What-
here.
all right,
I'm
what
leaving.
happened?
I'm
No,
leaving.
What happened in Cascade 2? We got to know.
I am mentally ill. That's all I'll say.
You?
Very, very mentally ill. That's about all I've got for that question. Just yeah, I don't know. Like, don't do this to me. Run, talk.
I will happily sit in silence and just wait for
No,
the explanation. It's
we can
awesome.
sit-
I'm
we
loving
can
this.
sit in silence. That's fine. I just look at my denied ratio, bro. That's stinky. I'm doing the thing. I'm the guy I
You
want
are.
to be.
You put the cowboy hat on and ran into it.
Man lives up to his words, perfectly matching the denials to the bases. That's
Literally.
awesome.
Crazy. I'm a double B. So good.
I feel like that tag ratio is low for you.
Yeah, a lot of a lot of getting farmed because like very the way that we were playing was probably really bad. Like and what we were doing like in the game. And it took us like probably longer than it should have to change it. Yeah, I think it would have been fine. I'm not sure. I just suck. That's about it. That's the only reason. Stinky boy.
So you take
Cody
the
went
full-
crazy though.
Husky
you
did
take-
really good because
Husky went crazy.
I remember
Husky's
Husky at pre-3, and this is wild to say given one particular game that I refed, but like I remember Husky at pre-3 was a lot easier to hit in the phaser, like hit him in the gun and get him out, and then I struggled with it a lot this like once Nats hit. That said, I did ref a game where
Is this the pug game?
the pug dove him out like it was like 20 for 20.
And Pug was hard. I've never heard him yap.
base.
He was yapping so hard. It was crazy.
And at one point, Husky turned around and he's like, "Ah, Brock's watching as well. Don't stop taking notes."
Yeah.
But like outside of that one game, I don't know. I think his like phaser discipline like improved a whole bunch this comp, which was good to see. Yeah. Which like reflects in tag ratio of 1.7.
I think like I will say about Cascade 2. I've decided. It was like literally me being mentally ill. 2, like just the way that we were playing was very like what?
Sorry.
You being mentally ill is a wild reason.
No. I saw another thing. Someone followed. It's cool.
Yeah.
As you're saying.
And like just we have never had such a like we had a very long Jesus Christ. We had a very long conversation that night after Cascade 2. So it helped. And like the first couple games of System D were really good and the things we spoke about were happening. I just think after like 3 games, everything we spoke about kind of like wasn't as clean again. And it wasn't what we were like what we were trying to do and stuff. And it felt a lot harder to do again. So I can't really tell you what was fully wrong, but it just felt like we had a plan and kind of didn't do it well or did the plan. Like it was just yeah, I'm not
So what was the plan going into the start of each game? Like just general structure.
So like a lot of the time it was just like somewhat 2-3, Dodge kind of playing more defensive if people came to us. Me trying to farm but getting farmed. And then at some point, kind of Dodge would find me and would do something, or would start the game early and try and get some bases like straight off the rip and either get stopped or it work. Like, I don't really. I just think like it felt like we weren't as good individually, so it was harder to like do the things that we needed to do.
Really?
Like on attack at least. Like the issue, like defense would be like, "What are you cunts doing?" And then we'd be like, "Shut the fuck up! Like, leave me alone. I don't want to do this." Like,
Man.
so it's kind of like it was like half the like we were the attack was the issue, but I just don't think Dodge and I could work it out very well. Like it was kind of hard, and that's a lot on me. Like not having good trusts and like not always doing exactly what he said and stuff. So it's just kind of hard for me to say anything except for like I suck, I stinky, and I'm mentally ill because like it is literally all it is. It's all like a lot of me being the issue.
Really? You put that much burden on yourself?
Well, yes, I think so. Like, and it doesn't help that like as well. Usually, I feel like I'm usually better as well. Like a lot better than what the fuck this is. I'm a double D, bro. Stop laughing, motherfucker.
No, I'm not laughing at you. Are you not saying this? I guess you don't have
We
streamer.
can't. I just have chat up, so I can't see
Okay,
like all the
well,
notifications. And stuff.
Wax needs to lift just followed for context.
Wow, that's crazy. Definitely
That's alright. I
twinkled.
give up breaking your line of thought. I'm the worst host.
You're good.
Sorry.
That's right.
As you're saying.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty much done. Like,
Okay. No, I think you're putting way too much onus on yourself, and I don't want to throw anyone else under the bus. But I think strategically, you guys were flawed from the very beginning, and that's where all of your issues are coming from. I don't want to start a whole rant, but like, yeah, some of
give him the rant.
okay, Runt is my zone boy. Thank you. So, yeah, you guys are still playing a 2-3 in like 2024, it's. I think there are teams now where you've met the limits of it. It's like, what happens when we can't just be better with a 2-3? And it's like what I was saying back to with Husky in 2019. It's like, hey, you guys gonna learn another strategy? No, we just keep winning with a 2-3. So what's the point? It's like, now the game's kind of evolved to a point where whether it's just mechanical skill from other players or whether it's strategically, it's not going to work anymore. It's like if you open with a 2-3, the defenses will just collapse home on you and just brutalize you, and that's what we kept saying. We're like, yeah, let's just like chill and wait for Catalyst boys to come to us, and then we'll just like farm them for a bit, and then we can open the point with like the game with like a 2k pack lead while the other team's starving. And that's what kept happening even throughout finals. So respectfully, I'm not sure if you guys did work it out by finals, because it's still
no, I'm saying before finals. So like the games before
okay.
Golden Games to get into Golden Games. The first game was goated. The second game was pretty goated. And then the first, it felt like we were doing the thing we wanted to in the first Golden Game, and then after that, it was over. Like we just stopped doing the things we spoke about.
Interesting. Yeah, because I again, like, yes, okay, Vikings over Catalyst. Jesus Christ, we gotta ban this feature. So, yeah, I think we still just you guys would come straight on the attack, get brutalized, or it'd work. Like, thing is, in round robin when we versed you guys instantly just got bases with an aggressive game off the bat, and we're like, oh shit. And then you guys kept base racing, and then you'd blow us out of the water with a base race because that's your game. So if you could force us into a base race, you would beat any team, and that's what you guys were doing. If the base race picked up, you'd do it. But if teams are collapsing home on you guys and just shooting you, the game would kind of fall apart. And then you guys wouldn't dump or wouldn't commit to a 3-man or anything. As soon as the game wasn't opening well, it kind of just didn't do anything. Like, where was the dump in finals, Wax?
We did in game 2.
A 30-second dump isn't a dump. Like,
no, well, we dumped in game 2 at the end and got what 3 or 2 bases?
3,
like,
maybe 2.
I think it was.
It was like a minute left. And
it was
yeah.
very late. Yeah. Like I said, I don't want to fucking talk.
Where are the balls? Where are the balls, Wax?
Non-existent. They're like shriveled up inside of me.
Is it Dodge that doesn't like dumping? Is it you that doesn't like dumping? Is it
Wax doesn't like dumping? For sure. I have seen your messages and your rants about dumping.
I was like on my knees begging pretty much to dump. So that's
you were begging
to dump. To show how desperate you are. Yeah. I know how averse to dumps you are, man. We've had arguments about like like going
Yeah.
back ages ago. I remember having an argument about like, why do you dump? Like, well, I'm not winning and I'm trying to win.
I still don't. I still think it. I still hate it. I still think it's dumb. But when we're not performing and things aren't working, like, fuck it, we suck. Let's go.
That's why no one's dumping from first.
No. But I
No one-
know. But that's like
I'm not like
when
at 8 minutes
there's-
winning a game, like everybody out, let's go.
yeah, but there's never a point where I felt like we had to, like, except for maybe like.
You were down 20k.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying at this Nats. I'm saying beforehand.
Okay. Yes.
Beforehand. Like,
Yeah.
it always felt like we had some form of control. Where like this year was like we would do dumb stuff or just suck, and then it would be like, wait, maybe we should actually do the thing that we hate. Like after finals, we kind of like, because the first game was so bad, it felt like we had mentally accepted second already. Like, and us just making finals was like okay, because how bad the Cascade was. Like, that's how bad our mental was. Our mental was
No.
done. It was like it was over. Like, I was prepared for us to get fifth. Like, I fully checked out. Like,
I
it was
beat you to it, baby.
it was no good. And then we had the massive chat. Everything was slightly better, and we made finals. But as soon as that first game happened, it was over. Like, we were like, we need to get second, and that's all we're getting, and that is okay. Fuck it. It was, the mental was really bad.
My boys have fallen so far. It hurts.
Tell me about it. What was I gonna say? What were we talking about before that?
Dumping, right? Like whether you accept it and stuff.
Oh, yes. After the finals, Wham and I were sitting there exhausted in the pack room. And I said to him, I was like, we got second. Thank God we didn't get third. That's how like bad our mental was. And he's like, and then, no, he said that to me or something. And then I said, yeah, but at what cost? We had to dump. It's like the one thing we did it. God damn it. But I don't know. In that third game, it felt like
You either die a hero or live long enough to see
I-
yourself
I-
become the villain.
I
But the
think
third
maybe
game-
like dodge nerves and like not being like a captain for long, like it was hard for him to make the decision on what to do and stuff. And I remember in those games, I was asking him, not asking, I was literally, like I said, I was begging him to dump because I just felt like all 3-man or do something. We just needed to like do something. And we ended up 3-manning, but got absolutely farmed by you guys, like at your base. Like, it was no good, and like it was way too late. And I think it was with Wham. Like, it was a 3-man attack with Wham. So like when we're 3-man attacking your base with like 4 of you pulling home, like
because we're like, they're gonna 3-man attack through the back door because that's what they showed us they're gonna do in round robin, and they fucked us for it in round robin. So we're gonna stick 2 in the base, be super ready for that 3-man. They're gonna come here and we're gonna fuck them with like 5 people. And that, well,
yeah,
yeah, love to see it.
like you guys got a bunch of denies and stuff, and it was just like
Yeah. What was, yeah, I think a big thing in finals was Apex were trying to 3-man to yours, and you guys would collapse home on them, as opposed to sending 3 to theirs and playing Vikings out of it. So like that
I think,
could have,
as you said before, like we've played 2-3 forever, and like things like that is not like oh, we're gonna like take this exchange to like try and claw back to first. Like, I think that's something that wasn't like even a thing we haven't had to like.
You're so used to playing like from a position of control.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
You're not used to like figuring out how to claw
Like,
things back.
like I'll even snitch on myself. Like, I guess I never even thought about like having to do that so that it's like, you know what I mean?
Well, actually, like it's a weird tangent, but I remember like when I first joined Storm in the lead up to Bendigo, like I spent like 18 months taking nothing but thirds at home, and I remember one training game against like Catalyst and Spartans, and like 8 minutes in we're winning, and I'm like, I don't know what to do anymore. I've only played from third. What do I fucking do to win? Yeah. And we lost it.
Oh, no.
And like Beefy absolutely abused me on like Prezzo night. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, they gave you the opportunity to bring like Vikings back down and make it a more even finals. I'm like, dude, we've never been in that position where we have to do that. Like, that's such a weird thing for us to like.
So who's captaining from now on? Like, are you gonna try and learn this stuff, or is Dodge gonna try and learn this stuff?
Well,
or
I
are we gonna
am
Wilbo
captaining Worlds. That's all I'm gonna like. So I'm.
I thought it was
Pug's not-
Pug.
It was Pug, but I've kind of realized that I have an issue, and I really want to like get better at like dealing with it, and I want to actually captain and like be good at it, because like I know that the way that I play is so hard to attack with, like, and play with, and like I will refuse to listen to people and stuff, but like it's a lot easier. Like Prenat 3, for example, like I felt like I had like a lot more, I enjoyed the comp more, I was in a way better mood, like I just felt like I had more control over everything, so it just made it a lot more healthy for me to play like
Hmm,
captaining. So I'm gonna captain Worlds, and then I guess we'll
sick.
see from there. So.
That's high fast, because yeah, I always spoke to Dodge. I don't know if he's in it, like you're in it, and like, yeah, I don't know if we saw the breakdowns and the analysis that like we'd get if maybe you were captaining. So I'm very hyped to see what's going to come forward. Let's go on to MVPs, guys. Who have we got? I think we already.
think about
I
this.
think yeah.
I'm just gonna say Cody.
Oh.
Like Husky were like, no matter what, the worst thing was, right? There was a point in the comp where all of us were like, we suck, this, that. And Husky's like, I'm the best player ever. Like, come on, guys, just stop being shit. Like, what are you fucking doing? And we're all like depressed. And there was one point, he literally, everyone was done. We were so mad after like Husky had 2 game, and he was like, come on, guys, we got 2 more games. Heads up. I'm like, shut the fuck up, bro. Stop talking.
Crying into your hands, and Husky walks in like no shirt and a crown he bought. He's wearing it. Like, I'm the best.
Yeah, literally.
That's awesome.
Man had like music playing when he walked into the room and stuff.
I'm gonna give it to Lilbo, because man put me through a reload twice before I could tag anyone, and like I saw him doing business everywhere.
WW.
Yeah. Big Bow.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Lil Bo. Yeah. Yep. Like it's always a tough choice with the stacked lineup, but I think Lil Bo was very consistently good. Yeah, I don't think I saw any flaws in Lil Bo's game or anything. But yeah, let's jump on with it, shall we? Vikings. Decently high score, always about
Back end of the game.
third, fourth-ish. Backends.
Consistent.
Yeah.
Consistently going up. No like crazy spikes. And I guess that like, kind of works with how you guys play and stuff.
Yeah, I'm surprised yeah, I guess that makes sense. Go for it, guys.
It is wild looking at a 9A and a 5A on the grading.
Thank you, Karen Solo ZLTAC, for the follow. Good stuff. And we have met the follow goal of 200. Oh, good stuff.
All the main accounts
I don't
done.
know how many of these are real accounts, but I'm gonna choose to believe all of them. Thank you, everyone. We are, and we've stolen the keys and we've got them past the line. Anyway, back to where we were. Go for it.
You have no moss on your team. Did Leper? Well, Leper got. I'm gonna guess Leper's bases are just the dump bases, or did he actually like do some pushes and stuff? Zero deniers. Crazy.
Well, the crazy thing is, he got like his third base of the competition in finals.
That is mental.
Yeah.
Holy. Oh, I don't even know where to start with you guys. Like everything just like all the stupid stuff that people said, like I will say I never agreed with, but like the home site stuff, like it's always, you guys are always gonna be like good on H2, good on whatever. Like it doesn't, the home site just helped you guys kind of like start like getting better and stuff. The way that you guys played fit perfectly for the maze. I think it actually like, I didn't think it would work here, but like it ended up just working fucking perfectly, which is it's annoying, but like I think it was honestly fun. Like the way that it played, it just sucked because we didn't do enough to change to adapt to it. The mid play from you and Twinkles was always fun, like being in the middle and stuff, like grinding out the start of the game. Like I remember there was one point in Golden Game 1, one of our rules of like the last day was no matter what the fuck happens today, we like gotta just hype up, like because we need the energy so that like no one drops their head. and I was in the middle, and I like won the first exchange and killed like 6 people, and I was like, whoa! And I was like the mid play was like so crazy. Like I loved like how it all was going and stuff. I felt like Karen really like stepped up in like red, especially. Like I know that I felt like
Yeah,
Karen
actually,
was a lot harder
I
to
can
shoot
back
out in
that.
red.
Yeah,
Like
his
Um,
phaser control was really, really good. He let me walk like right on top of his nose once before he stick his phaser out. Like he was he was one of the most impressive last lines I saw for like pure phaser control and like waiting for the shot, not trying to shoot the player and letting themselves get shot out for it, which wasn't something I was expecting from Karen based off my memory of him Hobart.
I think it like it felt like Jelly fit perfectly. Karen got like fit so much better this year. Like the way that you guys had like Karen in red, which I think worked, and not let Jelly be like that was Jelly's sick game. Then Jelly could play blue, which I think he was solid under on blue. Then the 2-man lock on green worked really well, and like Jelly was very difficult to shoot out through backdoor. Yeah, and like no matter what, on each door you got fucking CV or leper, so you got to get through them and then dive. And on this person who's like, I can like see you guys bullying Karen, so he never peeks his phaser. So he's like, don't fucking peek, and he just waits, and the waiting
He's
is
got
so
this
good.
trauma flashing behind his eyes as you walk at him slowly.
Yeah, like to echo what you guys have been saying, Karen was like the huge standout of improvement. It's like between Pre 3 and ZLTAC, it's like, not gonna lie, I think like we discussed with him, it's like, hey man, like you're anchoring solid, but like if you just make it your thing and you just like fully commit to it and fully focus on that, like it's amazing. Where if you're perfect at that, we're winning. We're winning the comp, and he made it his thing. He really did. He worked on his phaser discipline so much at home, and he just became so reliable. And it's like that stuff we were talking about. Where like Karen, respectfully, every time it read, anyone with long arms was killing you. Like
You just wait so long, and
yeah,
like you couldn't bait him. You couldn't. He'd just sit there. He's like, bro, I'm just gonna sit here and watch you. I don't give a fuck what you do.
yeah, the discipline was awesome, and the mental cognition that was clearly going through his mind at every step of the way to really improve upon the weaknesses. That was, I don't know, like for the longest time, I think people were like, why Karen? Why is it Karen? And I've always maintained, you tell him something and he will fix it. He will do everything in his power to fix it the next game. And he's the absolute best player for going, I need to work on this. I'm going to work on this, and you can just instantly see a switch flip, and that's his pure focus. And it's so good to play with players like that. So like even though he might not be like immediately the most mechanical player, it's like if you tell him to fix something, he'll fix it, and that's all you need in a teammate sometimes. And it really came through. Then yeah, like Jelly is just pure mechanical skill. Like it's just very gifted player. So and you saw the two of them. They were able to just lock down bases and go all the way to like doubles finals, which is insane. It is at the point where this is by far the most well-rounded Vikings we've ever had, where everyone is doing their role so well. Like it really felt like a year where we won so much as a team with everyone doing their role so at such a high level.
In saying that, it's interesting. I was just looking at like the tags for and against it. I feel like even Karen being down at 396 tags is wild, because I think that's telling for how little teams wanted to attack you, or like how little they spent. Like which was weird to me, because I think I don't think that's a way to beat you guys. Is like if you never go to Vikings base, you're probably not going to beat Vikings.
Yeah,
But
I think teams would just come with 2 and would collapse 5 on them and brutalize them for it. And it's they need to come with numbers, or it's essentially hit us hard. I think was probably the trick that was often missing.
Now I'm thinking about Nats. Now I'm getting sad. We need to end this conversation.
I'll play it again. Run it back.
What was I gonna say? I don't remember. Someone else talk. I've got no idea.
I don't know. I can't say I've got criticisms.
I've got it. I will say the worst thing about this is it makes me so like annoyed that it like the finals was like so shit because it could have been so goated like if it was like we were playing better. Either Apex kind of like had maybe they would have felt more confident. I don't know exactly, but like it felt like this year could have been such a goated finals, but you guys were just like first place, like we're taking it. Like, are you guys want it, or like are we just gonna take it? Like, it just stinks a little bit that it like ended up being like that because it would have been really interesting to kind of like just like it be a goated finals instead of like you guys just winning again.
And again, we felt bad in game 2 because we knew we'd won the first game, so we're like, let's just park the bus. It doesn't even matter if we lose, as long as we don't lose by 20k. We've won finals. Like, and we had people afterwards like, well, you guys lost game 2, so it wasn't that clear a win. I was like, it's all one game. It's genuinely all one game. So we were very boring. We went, yeah, let's just lock it down, keep on locking it down, wait for the dumps, and then counter dump here and open up with them. But it never opened up, so we were like, oh, we'll happily not win as long as it's not by much. Which, yeah, boring way to play.
Yeah. I think it just like because I remember having conversations with you guys before the nationals and like just it being a more interesting finals. It could have been like a goated finals, like, and it just ended up being like kind of a shitty finals. I will like Catalyst play is to blame, but like we didn't even like react to any of like the aggression from Apex and stuff. So like it is like, but it just sucks that it ended up being like that.
I would say I'm proud of it, especially that first game. I think to shed some light on what actually happened, because I think a lot of people don't know about it, is we knew exactly what Catalyst wanted to do from Red because they'd done it to us, and that's put heavy pressure through that back door and really pressure the defense. So we're like, we're gonna let them do that, and then every time they come in, we're gonna just wait for the pressure on back door, and then we're going to run in front door as soon as the anchor's not looking at us, or as soon as the anchor's cracked out by you guys. So we were just waiting for you guys to play the game for us, and then we'd walk our players in, and like we got Leper in doing that, and it was wild. So like, yeah, I think it's a proud point because yes, we played the same strategy every game, and I was bored every game doing the exact same strategy. But finals, we got to do one thing that we learned and predicted would happen. So that was cool at least. And that's how we got such a lead, was manipulating that pressure from Catalyst to give us a free pass into the front door. And then I picked up a red at some point because I think I was allowed to spawn too close to a door and Husky wasn't looking at me. So it's we're doing the base counts and it's like 5. I love base counts and denial counts.
6-1-1. Oh wait, what was the vibe? Did you guys know? Like, were you guys like that was fucking?
Yeah,
free,
I was like, okay, guys, like give me counts, and they're like, and we're like talking about counts, and it's like, okay, well, I got George was like, I got my green, Leper got his green, and Ricky got his green, and Rick's like, oh my god, we got 3, and you got yours too, Ron? I'm like, yeah, I got my green. And then Josh's like, yeah, we also got a red. And Rick's like, what do you mean we got a red? Like what do you mean we got 5 bases in a lockdown game? So yeah, it was like, and I was like, okay, guys, and how do we go on denials? And they're like,
0.
yeah, we got like a bunch of denial. Oh yeah, people didn't even shoot our base or something, and we heard other teams getting denied. And it's like, man. And I was like, okay, how many bases did they get? And I was like, 1, maybe we'll assume 2. And it's like, man. And then you go around and you're like, okay, who got pack? And it's like, yeah, we all had great pack. And it's like, and before I was doing that, I literally got to a point. I'm like, why bother with this pen? We know we're up 15, 20k. Like genuinely, that was the conversation. We're like, why bother with the most fun part of Nats is the counting and try to work out where we're at.
Yeah.
So yeah, we kind of knew we were massively up. Parked the bus. We're just waiting to counterplay the dumps, and then they didn't come. But yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely like after the first game, Wham came in because he sat the first game, and he was like instantly he walked in and he said after the finals he was like that was the worst like vibe. Like everyone just accepted we were second. Like we were just getting second and nothing was happening, and that game was too crazy that like nothing, no matter what we did, like it was already over. He's like, I've never seen the vibe be like so like poor that like there was no one was like, yeah, we got this. It was like everyone had just accepted it and it was over. Like it was Jova.
Oh man.
So good.
Even Husky took the crown off.
I think from memory, I think we all just like it was done. We knew.
Any weaknesses in our game that we can point to?
Base race, but like it didn't matter if it never fucking happened because no one did anything.
Bro, there was one
Like-
game in Cascades. We like put out a 3-man attack for the base race, and it went so well. And we're like, oh my god, this could work when we have to do this in a future game. And it was like Cascade 1 or something, and then we never
Yeah,
had
and
to do
then
it
never
again.
had to do it again.
and,
Yeah.
and we practiced our dumps so much in like round robin and the training games, and then we didn't do them. And it was...
No, I definitely recall seeing you guys dump one in.
Yeah, we dumped
Yeah.
one onto you guys once, and we dumped
Yeah.
onto someone else once, and I think that was about it. And our dump structure was good, but yeah, we didn't play it well enough. Also, no, sorry, our dump structure getting there was good, and then we just like threw it once we were there. Whoopsie. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Home-
actually, I remember that was the replay game, wasn't it? Because we like
Yeah,
we
it was.
we
Yeah.
stood in there for ages and ages and ages,
Yeah, that was
like,
brutal.
and then we got to play it back.
Oh man. And thank you, Homemade's Advantage, for following. Good stuff.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I don't know.
On that, actually, I think it was really good to see you guys do really well out of it, like, because I think that's solidified. Like, there was always the people who were like, oh well, it was their home maze, and it's nice to see that it was like you were just as strong in another maze.
Mm.
Like if there was a noticeable step down, it would have been like everyone would have been like, oh cool, it was a it was a home maze, and it would be been written off and forgotten about. But I think now, like doing it the back to back, you've established, it wasn't a home maze. Like it helped, but it was like, well, what Wax said earlier, basically, like it helped, but it's like it doesn't
Right.
change like the team.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt like better in this maze than I felt like we were stronger in this maze than Hobart, honestly. Like,
I also think it was a stronger team, in my opinion.
yeah, I know, and that's my point. Like, we felt stronger here than Hobart. Like, and after 3 prenuts, man, you know the maze so well. I really kind of hope that maze dies a bit, because like, I felt like I knew everything after 2 prenuts. But yeah.
I like agree, and I think like I played all 3 prenuts, and I agree with you, but I still like there's still like just those things that you are so drilled on just from playing there 3 times a week or whatever. Like you will just do them so naturally, where like you might have to think about them slightly more when.
Yeah, like
It's
there's
not
definitely
easy.
like aspects. Like I would never do ballsy takes in Aubrey from like sneak spots or stuff, because I didn't have the confidence with them, whereas home side players would. But yeah, I think it proves how oversold it was in Hobart. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, let's do MVP, shall we?
It's hard to go past like you and Twinkles, right?
I'm gonna go Karen, because like the improvement is there. I'm like noticeably improved, like, and I think like that helps you guys just be so much more well-rounded overall.
If I've got to pick someone, I'm going to give it to Twinkles because I know he's going to lord that over you, and that brings me joy.
For sure. Yeah.
You beat him this time though. Let's go.
Yeah, no, it was actually, again, the competition between us is really good, because printouts 2 and 3 I was playing like ass, just like focused on other things, like very macro stuff, and in the lead up to Nats I'm like, oh shit, I gotta focus on my game again. I really need to focus on my game, and yeah, I felt like through that, like, yeah, even as dumb as it is, like through the solo ladder, I kind of realized like I'm not playing anywhere near as well as I should be, and I'm not doing as much as I should be for the team in my role. So I felt like I was much more present in my role in Nats, and it worked a lot better. But yeah, in terms of MVPs, 100% agree with Karen, but I think Leper is always the unsung hero by the stats. I think that the stats always so terribly represent him, because he's doing so much of that, like dragging players around to key positions and positioning himself in a way which really enables the defense to thrive, especially when it's chaotic. I think like when it's chaotic, your door defender's going to die, but how do they position the players and all that stuff? And I think Leopard's stats are going to hurt because he was always on the rough door, and he did so well. And anyone in game will confirm just how insanely difficult it is to attack through his door. Yeah, that'd be my pick. Anything else to add, guys?
Bring on next Nats.
Yeah.
Nats.
Well, bring on Worlds.
Actually, yeah. World's time.
Bring on Worlds. I'm keen for Worlds.
I'm so keen.
Worlds should be really fun.
Be a good time.
We could see everyone locking in proper. And again, just like before Nats, where we hype everyone up and we go, okay, Catalyst strongest they've ever been, Storm strongest they've ever been. It's time for Vikings to lose. Let's hype it up for Worlds. We've got Catalyst bringing Pug on, who's a very good pickup for Worlds, and we've got Storm picking up Potato, and we've got Aftershock back to their former pride, and we've got like 3 of the winners of Finish Nats coming down, so should be a good competition, right, everyone?
Surely we won't suck. We won't suck. I promise that. Over my dead body.
And yeah, Sega brings up an interesting point.
Can you leak what the next generation will look like? What your next team is?
I mean, with Oceanic Champs coming up, I think it might be very similar to what it just was. Worlds was going to be kind of our last comp, but with a home site, insanely high tier competition coming to Hobart, I don't think we'll be able to pass up bringing the boys out of retirement in Leopard and CV. I don't think they'll be able to say no to that. So I think the 4 will probably be there, which means we'll probably be Vikings for Oceanic Champs. But I think this competition was our retirement from ZLTAC. That's 8 years, something like that in the making. So very bittersweet there, but I'm happy we ended it gracefully and put the team to rest. I think with that, we'll call it there, guys. Thank you everyone for watching. It's been a pleasure of a stream. Thank you guys for joining me once again. And I will see everyone tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Who's hyped? Yeah, we've got more streams to do.
7 a.m.
7 a.m.
7 a.m. I'm working around the Americans. So I'm on at 7 a.m.
Yes, you're doing that. Yes.
Get hyped.
If I'm awake, I'll turn the stream on, but
I have work, so I'll listen.
I won't request everyone wakes up at 7 a.m. But like, if you wake up at 8:30, it's a 5-person panel, so I'm guessing the stream will go pretty slow. It's only 11 teams, but we'll chew the fat a bit. I'm hoping no promises. We might just power through it. But if you get up at 8 a.m. or something, tune in, and we'll hopefully catch the back half of the competition.
Can you make a post so I don't forget in the morning?
For sure. You want to post tonight or you want to post in the morning?
In the morning, because I'm a goldfish and we'll forget.
Yeah, there'll be a We're Live kind of post as usual. But yes, 7 a.m. Australian time. And if you want to get the time conversions for everywhere else in the world, I think we've got a few on the LSA page. Beautiful. Let's wrap it up there, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Peace
you.
out.
Goodbye. W.